with anyone. I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me. You could be around for
You could be with anyone, I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome to the show. Another Speak Pipe episode. We're having a good time. Make sure you guys hit that one. If you guys can see me, you can hear me. That way, I'm sure I'm not just sitting here talking to myself all by my lonely. I'd appreciate that. Thank you very much. And then I'll hold on for a second to make sure that I can actually be seen and heard. Thank you, Lizzie B. What's going on, Lizzie B in the house? What's up? Awesomeness. So we had some really good speak pipes. If you guys could let me know if you've been notified that I've been dropping videos, because I noticed like after I hit a certain point, like in a week, I try to drop videos. I was trying to drop videos daily, and it seems like all of a sudden there must be some kind of I don't maybe with my channel, I don't know. It just seems like there's some kind of threshold, because as soon as I hit a threshold, all of a sudden nobody's watching the videos anymore. Like it's crazy. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm just not as interesting as I think. That would be something. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know why nobody calling me. I put out a sign that I'm single. Ain't nobody. My phone is it never rings. It must be broke. I gotta check my provider, make sure that my phone ain't been turned off. No, it's not turned off. It's just nobody's calling you. Well, you know, anything's possible. It's possible. Hey, we got Megatron in the house. What's up, Megatron? How you doing? Oh, Megatron, if you like Megatron, let me do one thing real quick. Because Megatron's sending she's sending three of these bad boys. And yeah, I got cut, but something was happening with the speak pipe. Like it get right to the point. Megatron be like, let me tell y'all something. Here's my point. Point one. And all of a sudden it would go hot. Like the line would die. It'd be like point two. The line would die. They're like, point three, the line would die. Like the criminals trying to shut Megatron up. Janelle might be paying somebody off. I don't know, because she be coming at Janelle neck, boy. She said, all gas, no brakes. You know, she is not letting off of Janelle at all. Janelle like, time out. Megatron like, they no damn time out. Put your hands down. You know, time out in a boxing match. Oh. Hold on one second. Let me Oh, what the what the hell? Okay. Yeah, I'll I will send you something, Megatron, right now. Right now. Well, in a few minutes, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you in a few minutes. All right, we got some ones and stuff. Awesome. Let's get to it, guys. Hopefully you had an opportunity. If you didn't, I would ask that you go check them out. I just dropped two, not one, but two. What do you say? Do you say it two? Yes, two new videos. Okay, I dropped two new videos over the last couple days. I've been dropping videos all week, but I was really proud of those videos. Maybe that's what it is. Like Like, here's something that I don't think I don't know. I don't really hit up a whole lot of sister wives channels anymore. But here's some things, just my thoughts that I think maybe are unique. Maybe they're not. Maybe that's what it is too. But pull it over here. Well, because I had the heroes versus villains video. Get this. And because okay, well now all of a sudden my thing is acting up. Well, let me upload. Gotta erase some stuff. Ain't that some shit? I tell you, this technology is not cooperating with me in the beginning of the year. It's like it's trying to tell me something, y'all. All right. So back to what I was saying. This was the video I dropped the other day talking about heroes and villains, heroes v villains. In that I explore, like, because there's always a question, especially since TLC is pushing out the idea of redemption and will it work, why it's not working, why, you understand what I mean? So I kind of break down why, each party is assigned to the position they're in. Why are the OG3 heroes? Why are Robin and Cody villains? And it goes beyond just the fact that they're shitty people and the OG3 is just gosh awful, awesome, and they're amazing. They're amazeballs and heroes. It goes beyond that. I think that there's especially in television shows in production, there's a formula that you can use to lever one person or diminish another person. And I even use the example of, as you can see on the thumbnail, the character John Wick from the Keanu's character from the I'm going to say awesome movie, but if you break John Wick's character down, as I talk about in the video, John Wick's character is a bad guy. He is a villain. Under any other circumstances, John Wick is not only the villain, that dude is like the final boss level villain. Okay. Is it talk about, if you're familiar with the movie, the Russian mafia, called him the Russian mafia. Look, let me tell you something. on a scale of scary, like the Italian mob is there. They are scary folks. You have a couple of, like, the Albanians and people. They're scary people. The Russian mob, them dudes are like a 12 on a 1 to 10 schedule. These guys are scary, scary. And you had the Russian mafia guys calling this dude the boogeyman. And the dude was like, he the boogeyman, Baba Yaga, the boogeyman. He like, no, actually, he's the dude you send to kill the boogeyman. Like, this dude is serious. He's crazy. My entire business is built on the bodies that this dude is buried because he's that nuts. And you went and did what to him? Like, it's one of those situations. So he's that guy. But it's when you catch him and how they, it's a very short, it's not a short, like crazy long video, but it's a short assessment of how they were able to take a guy who, like I said, by any other metric, like in the movies, in the John Wick movies, 4 movies, he killed like 439 people. Like, this dude slumped 439 folks. In the first movie, he knocked off 77 people for a dog and a car. You broke in my house, beat me up, took my dog, killed my dog, took my car. I'm coming to get everybody you know. Like, that's Looney Tunes, really. But, talk about overreacting. But why did the audience cheer for her? Why were they rooting for him? Why were they so excited about him? And I kind of break that down. And so when Cody and Robin use the excuse, well, you guys did my editing and blah, blah, blah. It's not just the editing. It goes way deeper than that. And that's what I discuss in this particular video, heroes versus villains. There's also a video I talked about with this discussing the releases. Right, the issue of the releases. And I try to take a different perspective or different tact in it because, you know, as I said in my, you know what? Let me see. Oh, fiddly sticks. God, fiddly sticks. I didn't upload it. All right, shit. Because I have a short clip that I was going to put on TikTok to try to reach some other folks. But basically, with this video, I'm talking about how the elders of the AUB have decided to judge and look at Cody and his behavior. Like in the realm of normally, when I jump on YouTube and I criticize Cody, look, man, this punk ass dude taking advantage of these women, you know, these mothers of his kids, punk ass dude, ridiculous, half man, short pants ass, bald headed mother. Right. When I go do that, that's just the outsider criticizing me. Even when David sits there and talks about Cody, oh, Cody does this and he needs to do that. He need to worry about the kids. Oh, that's just some asshole that's with my ex-wife who don't understand what the pangs and trials and tribulations of polygamy is all about. In this particular video, what I'm talking about is this is Cody's kryptonite. Because they strip away the fact that the church came out and criticized him, the fact that these elders, the prophets, the leaders of this polygamous church that he was a part of, the reason why he was able to practice polygamy in the first place, came out and said, no, bruh, you did this shit wrong. You did it hella wrong. You did it so wrong, in fact, not only are we going to take away one wife, two wives, but three wives. They were passing out releases like flyers, like concert tickets. Here you go, here you go, here you go. You know what I mean? Take this, you busy tonight? Put this shit in your pocket. Just take it with you. Right? You know what I mean? It was just calling. They was getting like Janelle got that damn release faster than a fast food takeout order. She could, if she would have called for the release and she would have hit Salt Lake City, be like, you know what? I'm hungry. And she would have called for a pizza. And she would have called and told the people, I'm on my way to get this release. She would have got the release faster than she got her pizza. She would have got her release done, came back to the place, and the pizza be hitting her door. They might be calling her. She show up to the pizza joint after the release place. They be like, girl, what you doing here so early? We still got to cook it. They was turning and burning them Jones. Cody was so bad, she didn't even have to do an interview. Like, nah, you ain't got to talk to us. Here you go. You're married to that clown ass dude. We ain't running the circus. Here you go. But I think that there's another part of it where I explore why the AUB would release him, why it was so important for them to release him. You know, it wasn't just, oh, Cody's a bad guy. We love the women. We support the women. Because we got to remember, again, John Wick, we got to remember who the hell we talking about. Right? This is not this is not a charity organization. This ain't the damn March of Dimes up here. You understand what I mean? These people are not looking out for the best interests of women. Well, we care about the ladies. That's why we're going to make sure that anybody treat these women's wrong. We're going to make sure we correct them. You know what I'm saying? Cody, look, we'll get into like Cody. Maybe I'll do a video about that too, but we'll get into like Cody making the assertion that he called the AUB to get a divorce and why that might not have happened. I think Tanya mentions it from what I recall, but yeah, I talk about that. So that's my second video. If you were not notified, this is what my first video talking about heroes and villains, what makes them up, how they were cast as heroes and villains from the beginning and onset of the show, how reality show is scripted or cultivated in a way to where somebody was going to be the hero, somebody was going to be the villain. What the original intent of TLC was, why the ladies are heroes in this instance, and why Cody and Robin will never escape the black hole of villainy that they find themselves in. You are like, your die are cast. Like, there's no way. Like, there is a way, and I'm hesitant to make that video because there is a way they could do it. There's a way they could do it, right? I don't think either one of them are willing to do the work to do it, but I think that there is a way they could do it. Now, granted, I'm gonna be very honest. People who have watched the show are never going to give Cody and Robin a chance. They're never going to do it. But there was a way, and it was ironic that part of what I was saying he should do was executed this year with the apology tour, but he didn't execute it properly, which is why it failed like a mother. Okay, there's a way he could do it, and let me know. Maybe I'll run a poll and see if I should do that video if you guys are interested in it. Well, it looks like people are only notified of one video or no videos. Whoa, like 44% of you. That's a lot. It's a lot. YouTube is just dropping the ball on me. Let me check something real quick. We had some super chats. Michelle Page. What's going on, Michelle? How you doing? Gifted One My Take on Reality membership. Thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate you. For those who don't know, we run a Saturday afternoon. I call it a roundtable. It's a full panel. Everybody could call up, or I have 10 slots that I can bring people in, and 10 guests can, and we all just sit around, chop it up, and we talk about everything. We don't just talk about sister wives. In fact, I think in most cases we talk sister wives. We do talk sister wives, but a lot of times the conversations, I think ever since I started, the conversation has always evolved past sister wives. So it's a really good group. It's a good conversation. We have folks that call in, and ride it till the wheels fall off, baby. But thank you so much, Michelle. Let me give you a little something from my something catalog. I got to expand my catalog too. But thank you, Michelle. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Michelle said it is epic. Awesome. Had a good time. Awesomeness. Then we had Lizzie B with the $5 super chat. That's one of the Mega Mod Squad. For those who don't know, Lizzie B holding it down for a player. James D sent over a SpeakPipe message, and she doesn't want it to be played on live. Oh, okay. I'm glad you said something. Okay. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Excellent. Thank you for letting me know. Because we also had some anonymous speak pipes that came through. And yeah. So I get it. Because that's also one of the things too. I said that, if you guys call in, just let me know that you don't want the speak pipe. Like when you start the speak pipe, like, oh, James, it's between the two of us, or don't, you can share the idea, but please don't please don't play it. That's cool. I don't mind doing that. All right. But thank you so much, Elizabeth. I'm glad you pulled the coattails on that. All right. Thanks so much. All right. Lizzie B once again with the $5 super chat. Said, you drop Cody's ass like a jug of honey in a grizzly bear cave. How did he react? Hotter than a $2 pistol. Those lines were epic, James. Thank you so much. I was feeling a little spicy while I was making that video. Feel a little spicy. I was like, this is because they were just like, oh yeah. the real, because I know, like in most of these like institutions, they are not like, like for instance, if you know, like the way our court system works, it's not easy to get a divorce. It's easier to get married and get into a marriage than it is to get the hell out of one. Especially like you get married, nobody asks you when you put in your for your license, your marriage license, whatever state you're in. Nobody's like, oh, well, how will you divide the assets? And what do you think about the kids? And well, do you want kids? And how are you going to raise those kids? How do you like to spend money? How do you manage debt? Do you have credit card debt? Or, are you have people you avoiding? How is your ex? Is your ex a crazy person who still thinks y'all together? Nobody asks you any questions like that, right? You put in for the little marriage application. Hell, Vegas, you can put it in the same day. You can fill out the marriage application. You just sit in the pew. The guy call you up and you can get married, right? It's easy peasy. But when you go for a divorce, because it's a civil union, it's a civil contract. That's what marriage is. It's not just, we love each other so much. Technically, there's nowhere in the nothing in the marriage agreement civilly that requires you to even like each other, let alone love each other, be the love of your life, and all that other foolishness. So when you get a divorce, because the state basically is in charge of said things and they have a purview over it, technically when you get a divorce, you're asking the state to dissolve your marriage or your union. You're essentially asking the state for permission to be divorced. That's what a divorce is. You're asking permission from the state. You can go to court, not crazy popular, but you can go to court and a judge could say, I hate her, he hates me. It's like, it sounds like a Barney song. I hate you, you hate me. We are no longer a family because I want to blow up and burn down the house. I hope your ass is sleeping because I won't let you out. Right off the top of my dome. That was disturbing. But you both could be singing that and, you doing parts, singing it together. And the judge can say, you know what? I don't think that this relationship is quite over. So I'm going to hold off on your petition for divorce. And I'm going to recommend you go for counseling. Or I'm going to recommend a cool off period. Or whatever the case may be. Or I'm going to just schedule you to after my vacation. Like, they can stop your shit. Like, I don't want to live with this person anymore. I can't stand them. Every time I go to sleep, I wake up in the morning praying that they not around no more. And they done kicked the bucket in they sleep. They done met Freddy Krueger. I hold a little mirror that I keep on my nightstand for the express purpose of checking his asshole's breath because I can't stand them. And they like, I do the same thing. That's the last agreement we had, Your Honor. We should not be together. It's dangerous for us to be in the same house. We feel like this marriage isn't quite over. A judge can do that, right? Because you're asking permission for a divorce. So it's crazy talk. But especially when you think about these the type of institutions like the AUB, like the FLDS. These institutions, the bedrock of these institutions is based on male dominance. You can't have, wives saying that they're not being treated properly, that the men aren't coming around spending time with them or their kids in an equitable or fair manner. You can't have them bucking against the system. The system is essentially designed to keep them down. What's that? Keep sweet, be quiet, shut the hell up. Cody doing that shit. Like, the system is designed to put especially women and children in line. So no, they're not just granting like the releases because you show up and like, he's not treating me good. He kicked my son out. Some of these guys be like, okay, well, how old was he? He was 15. Well, sounds like a rival to me. He was a rival. He was a sexual rival for his father. He had to go, right? So the fact that Cody went down there, and the crazy part is, and if we really get into it, The crazy part is Cody's reaction to them leaving and Cody's reaction to them actually getting a release might be born from, oh, he's just outraged because his ego was hurt. It might actually be outraged because of the fact that y'all not supposed to let them go. When they come to you and ask for a release, you're supposed to say, just like you do every other time, kiss my ass, go back to your husband. There's record ad nauseum where Mary's mother, when Mary would go to Mary would go to her mother, not Cody mama. Mary would go to her mama and say, mama, this man ain't shit. And her mom would look her in the face and be like, I don't want to hear about your troubles. Go home and work it out with your husband. Mom, he's mistreating me. Go home and work it out with your husband. That's like that old school ass, dysfunctional ass like advice. No, it's between a husband and a wife. It ain't got nothing to do with me. You showing up all puffy and shit because this dude think he going 4 rounds with Mike Tyson and doing a Mike Tyson punch out on your ass. And this crazy lunatic is trying to send you back. You understand what I mean? That's the type of environment that I'm not going to say I know for sure, but I suspect, not necessarily the physical part of it, but the fact that you can't just release people from these types of marriages because they're not being treated fairly. Because let's be honest, nobody is going to be treated fairly. It's human nature. You're going to have people that you like more than other people. There's going to be times you like one more than the other. Right? The fact that you can duck your wife, you can, get in an argument with them. These guys ain't doing no good marriage counseling. Because if they were doing like that kind of marriage counseling, we wouldn't be watching Cody get shit advice on TV from all his friends who are in the shit. It's weird to me that just all the bad apples in the AUB just happen to be gathered and they happen to have a TV camera playing a dumbass advice. Yeah, I had a problem with one wife. I just be like, bump you, girl, and go over my other wife's house because that'll always solve the problems, not talking about it. Yeah. So I think that he was shocked at the fact that the people supported them leaving, which is different and alien from his culture. And he was also shocked that these men got behind him and started backing him. Y'all backing really? Really? That's what we doing now. Like that, Cody, that might be why Cody ass is mad. Just can't come out and say it. But in that video, I also talk about why the AUB would do it. Because this is a PR nightmare. Sister Wives is a PR nightmare for the AUB. Because the AUB, just to share a little bit of what I was talking about, the AUB is an organization that has widely gone unnoticed and been under the radar. When you prior to the AU, prior to what, I'm about to say 1980s, good Lord. Prior to, they had big scandals with the LeBarons coming up, shooting it out with Christine's dad, right? Killing Christine's dad, running back to Mexico. But that was national news, and it was like these crazy ass polygamists, but they weren't specific like the AUB. Oh, that damn AUB. They didn't do that. Then you had in 2010, you had Big Love on one end with Bill Hendrickson, played by the awesome actor Bill Paxton on HBO Big Love. And on the other end of that, you had Warren Jeffs from the FLDS. That's all people knew about polygamy. And then here comes the Brown family. Hey, guys. Hey, we have another group called the AUB. And I'm the spokesperson. And he torched the shit out of polygamous marriages. Right? This dude was terrible. This is the mascot. This is like you showing up to McDonald's and you see Ronald McDonald in the parking lot strung out with needles hanging out his arm. Like, you know what I mean? sitting in the little playground area where they used to have a McDonald's playground, and dude is drunk as shit. Right? Trying to get in a fist fight with Wendy's, the Wendy's mascot. you pull into a thing and you see Elmo be like, "Oh, we going to a kid's birthday party," and you pull in and you see Elmo, Dora the Explorer, and Blue's Clues out back shooting dice. I mean, don't make me grab my pistol, son. You know what I mean? It's a wrap. It's the worst PR disaster ever. So there's a reason why I think they were so quick to give these releases, because they wanted to establish that we are fair. We are on the women's side. We are with you guys. So they threw Cody's ass under the bus, and I talk about it in the video. So check that out. Thank you so much. I'm just saying. I'll pass throwing dice. Come on, 7. Oh, all day I'm hot, baby, hot, baby. You're crazy. But thank you so much, Lizzie V. I appreciate you. We get those thumbs up. Hey D, $4.99 super chat. Hey James, please don't play my speak pipe. Thank you. Oh, no worries. No worries, D. I got you. Lizzie B already gave me the 411. I won't play it. Well, let me ask you this, D. Do you mind if I talk about some of the bigger issues? Because I think you raised some good points. I won't talk about the specifics of what you said, but I think that you do raise some good points. Right. So do you mind if I mention that? Let me know. All right. I mean, you don't have to send a super chat, but just hit me up in the try to keep an eye on the chat. All right. But thank you. And I appreciate your call. I do appreciate your call. And it was well received. It was excellent points. I was excited to play it. Are you kidding me? I was excited. I was like, oh, go ahead, girl. But let me give you a little something, D. Okay, all right. So I can talk about it. I like to ask permission. I don't want to just, like this between us. I don't want to be that guy. I'm a vault. Like, tell me something is between us, so I don't want to betray your trust. But thank you so much. Awesomeness. I will take that out, though. I will take it out. But you do make some good points. And I want to address those points. All right. So without further ado, let me see where we are in the poll. I just, you see it, damn man. it's some scary shit when you start normally when you go blank or you forget something, like you go upstairs and you're like, oh shit, why'd I, what did I come up here for? Or you be talking and you lose track of what you talk about, like, oh shit, where was I? What was that thought I had? When you're a young person, you don't really think about it. But the second you start getting older, you're like, oh shit. Is this it? Is this how it's about to happen? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's scary as hell, son. Yeah, I got you. Thank you, Caramel Kitties. Yeah, it's scary as hell, son. Uh-oh. This is the beginning of the end. You know what I mean? The lady might not be singing, but she out back warming up. Me, 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 me. You know what I mean? Like, it's on and popping. I'm in trouble. That was a scary moment. What was this? Lane Howard, she say? Sadly, no, the AUB leader only wanted the problem to go away. That's why they gave Janelle the paper that day. If he was smart, he should have given her Christine's paper too. I said the same shit. I know she ain't put in for one, but yeah, could you get us to your sister wife too? Had an envelope with Christine's name on it. Hell, I might even go down to the Kinko's or the Staples Center and get like some embossed printing. You know what I mean? So she can hang it up like a plaque. You have been awarded separation from one Cuda short pants brown. No longer will you be tied to his family. You know, I would have did that shit too. Yeah, get this to your girlfriend. Matter of fact, tell Robin to put this in a pocket. She got that too. Because I know Mel said that AUB would take Robin's ass back, her and her daughters. And especially if she bring that bank book with her. Like, yeah, tell Robin to put this in a pocket. If she ever want to come back, tell her to holler when the divorce is settled and she has that money, that paper. She get that paper straightened out, tell her to holler at a player, and then we'll discuss from there what level she comes in at. If she keeps somehow she's able to retain the house and keep $2 million worth of real estate or whatever, yeah, you might get a shot at the profit. You know what I mean? You might get a shot at the profit. But if you take out a whole bunch of equity loans and that house is upside down in the water, floating down the river like a mob informant, nope. This John Wick is on my brain. Nope. Bishop, you be lucky if you get a deacon. I was hoping to get somebody with a position in the church. Yeah, you're gonna get the handyman. You know, I mean, with the money in your bank account, we checked your papers. And you have two things I don't like: age and broke. Right? That puts you right off the list for some of these organizations. You too old and you're too broke. I have no advantage. And that also speaks to how when I talked before about how Cody was selecting his wives, it seems like when I say it, I understand that some people might be mildly offended by me saying it. There's a strong possibility and a strong realization that Cody might not have ever loved them, and he's picked them out of a foolish sense of strategy. Mary was his gateway into the life and lifestyle. Janelle had finances and money because she broke finances. She had a house. She had a place to stay. Right? That ghetto trailer park mentality. Like, oh, she rich. She got her own place. Did she rent? You know what I mean? Janelle was actually renting to Mary and Cody. So of the three of them, Janelle seemed like she was put together. She had a house in her 20s. So she seemed like she was doing some things. So Cody might have hitched his wagon onto that opportunity. That's a strategic move. 2, 3, Christine. Christine is blue blood polygamy. She's got blue blood relations, polygamy royalty on her father's side through the Allreds, and she has polygamy blue blood on her mother's side, who is I just said their names. The cats down in Mexico. Oh shit. Damn it. I told y'all. It's so sad when you just be forgetting stuff. And I'd be so proud of my memory. Now it's the Allreds and the Allreds were in Utah. LeBarons. Thank you, LeBarons, the LeBaron group. And she had relations into that group. So she had it on both sides. So marrying her, strategically makes sense. So strategy. And that's just how they do it. So when it comes down to it, I don't think that he's the only one who does that. This isn't a Cody Brown original plan. I think that there's a lot of people. I think that part of the reason why Cody's dad win like Janelle for his brother, Cody's brother, wasn't because he was like, Janelle's a wonderful person. She's so attractive and cute, and she has such a sparkling personality. I think she would be a wonderful addition to the family. She'd be perfect for little Tommy. I don't think that was it. She has money, she has resources. You know what? I'm gonna make sure my son takes advantage of those resources. And hopefully you can get her with the smart son who knows how to take those resources and do something with it other than squander it and try to use it for their own self improvement and stuff. So I think that's part of it. But thank you so much, Lane. I appreciate that. Was this Robin will never go back to the AUB because polygamy was never what she really wanted. She wanted fame, money, and a TV show. I think she would go back to polygamy because I agree with that. I do think the Brown family, for sure, she wanted fame, money, and a TV show. That's why she got with broke ass Browns. But power, to consolidate power, and if she could enter into a family and take over that family, and that family has resources and or power within a community or society, I think Robin would jump back in 100%. Because you can't stop being who you are. You know, it's kind of the was it the frog and the scorpion? You know, why'd you sting my ass? Now we both gonna die because I'm a scorpion. Of course I was gonna sting. I don't know why you put me on your back. That was dumb. As soon as I asked you to cross the river, frog, you said no because you a scorpion. You gonna still sting me, and I was like, "Duh, I can't. I'm barely not stinging you now. It's taking all my strength not to sting your ass now. Just talking to you about getting in the water. The second you put me on your back, we get midway through the thing. I said, screw it. You think I didn't think we was going to drown? I knew, but I'm a scorpion, and that's what I do. I sting people. You're stung. Now we both gotta take swimming lessons. Oh well, you know what I mean. See, a thing can't help but be the thing that it is. Yeah, I mean, when you understand the nature of a thing, then you're not surprised by it doing the things that it does. You know, but I respect that though. I don't think she's now. Let's be very clear. When I say all that. When I say she's willing to go into a polygamous family, she's not going into a polygamous family because she's trying to build up women and she's the girl code and all that other stuff. I don't think she's going into polygamy to be equal to anybody. I don't think she's going into polygamy to join a family. She'll go into a family to take a family over. If she can rise to the height of that family and be a decision maker and a player in that family. Like she's not trying to be a foot soldier. She's trying to be a general. So I don't see, like, if somebody comes to her like, yeah, I need you, you join my family. We have women who will be excellent sisters and it will be your best friend. And y'all, Anne Marie too. She wants to sit on the porch and play with her grandkids. Right? Robin ain't gonna be okay. Yeah, let me do that. No. I need Anne Marie ass to go to work because Anne Marie got to bring home a check to pay for my dollies. Dollies need a new pair of shoes. But yeah, I think that's where it is. But we had Jody Periscala with the $1.99 super chat. Are you able to slow down chat like Mel and Corey? I don't think so. I'll take a look into it, Jody. I'll take a look into it, see if there's anything I can do. All right. I don't know if I won't be able to do it this time. Maybe I'll be able to look when we're playing some videos or speak pipes, but let me see. I can't promise anything. I will try. All right, but thank you so much. Good suggestion. We got a couple more, and then we'll jump to the speak pipes. We have Raiders Mom with the $4.99 super chat. Florida Mama. My hubby says they had pre-filled forms with OG's names, waiting only for dates. And since Christine didn't want one, her name was white out in case Robin wants it. They just left it blank. Just tell me who it is. You wife 1, 2, or 3, or 4. And they had them like in order. And it's probably sitting on the secretary's desks. You know what I mean? Like the admin's desk. Probably. Hell, the receptionist might have it. Hello, the AUB church. Yeah, I'm calling about a release. Oh, we don't give releases. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm Christine Brown. Oh, Miss Brown. Yes, please come in. We just need a good address. Actually, we just started sending it to all the addresses we had on file, child. Check your mailbox. It's already in the mail. Yeah, I think they were looking forward to them. They were probably begging them, please come down and get a release so we can clear ourselves, so we can distance ourselves from this jackwagon. 100%. But thank you, Raiders. Man, tell your husband I said hello. We had Megatron, Cody, Megatron in the house. Megatron. Cody did marry just like Christine did when she dismissed him, like, oh, dismiss him. That's how I know he has no original ideas. And Janelle was behind the backdoor deal. I don't care. I don't care. She did that shit. Yep. And unfortunately for Janelle, but Megatron is actually in a position like I can sit there like, no, Megatron, no, Janelle never knew that. No, she's innocent, Megatron. But Megatron is actually in a position where she would be a person like going back and forth to North Carolina, and she would actually be a person that would realistically patronize Title Farms. So in the grand scheme of things, Megatron's opinion of Janelle matters more than my opinion of Janelle. Because she would be the one who would go to the farm and buy a plant or a flower. I can sit there all day and be like, oh, Janelle's awesome. She's made a wonderful businesswoman. But I'm not buying stick nor stone off of Title Farms. Maybe I would have got a t-shirt. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not the audience that necessarily Janelle's got to win over. And that's just me being honest. Like, I like to be honest on the channel. But Megatron boys, woo, they're like, get off of her. When will she stop? When will she stop? Never. She ain't never getting a break this way. I'll tell you, boy, Megatron is not letting it go. And it is I'll go on the record right now. If during this tell-all, Janelle, you better bring the fire, baby. If you want to win Megatron back, you gotta bring the fire and receipts. It would help if you had like text messages or phone calls recorded or tapes or something like, oh yeah, TLC ain't know I had this out, I had my security system, Alexa, playing in the house because I don't trust nobody because somebody be stealing. And anyway, I set up cameras in the house, all over the place. And I got them good 4K cameras, 4K HD, high definition, we can see a net's ass cameras. And I'm telling you, this is what Cody said. Janelle, we are going to blame you. Anything short of that, I don't think Megatron going to believe it. I just don't I don't know. Some people you just going to lose. But thank you so much, Megatron. Let me get a little something. All day. We got a Jody Perry Scholar with the $1.99 super chat. How much coffee did you have today? Actually, you know what? I didn't have any coffee. I quick story time. Me and my wife, we used to drink crazy amounts of coffee, insane coffee. I'm so embarrassed to say how much coffee I was drinking. Right? Like I was drinking, like Megatron gave me a cup, and it was coffee like that. Like it was bad, right? So we took some time over the summer, and I was like, you know what? We got back, and we hadn't had coffee from when we got home, and it was like 2 or 3 days, and all of a sudden we started going through withdrawal, like caffeine withdrawal, bad. I was like, I gotta get off this shit. This is terrible. Like, oh my goodness. Like, is this what it's like? I don't know how people get on the hard stuff and come off of it. This is terrible. Oh, my head was hurting. My body was aching. Like, oh, it was terrible. Right. And after that, I was like, I'm not drinking any more coffee. And we hadn't had coffee since until yesterday. I had a cup of coffee. And I don't know if I'm still amped off of that thing. Like, because my tolerance probably went way down. Before I could drink coffee, and I could drink a pot of coffee and go to sleep. Like my tolerance was so high for caffeine. I could literally I could sit there, drink a pot of coffee and be nodding off while I'm drinking a coffee. Right? Now, oh shit. That stuff is dangerous. Coffee is no joke. When you come off of it, whoa. If you ever like, oh, coffee don't do nothing for me, just take about 3-4 months off of coffee and come back to it and tell me about how it don't do shit for you. All right, but thank you, Jody Pierce Scott. Oh, Kathy Ferran said she was part of the Suicide Squad. She was like, a DC version. Damn. Yeah, watch what you say. Ain't that something? But she was like, I used to drink energy drinks with my coffee. So I had to quit. Energy drinks with coffee? Whew, that's next level. That's what Heartbuster right there. Kathy Ferran was like, I'm super diesel. That's it right here. I'm super diesel. Oh, acid reflux. Yeah, I used to get that. I got that in college. Probably all the stress I was under working jobs and everything else. But yeah, thank you, Kathy. Let's hit these speak pipes. Oh, it's been an hour already. Damn. I guess the talking. All right. First we got Lacey. Let's rock it.
Hey James, it's Lacey from Germany. I'm calling in because everyone is saying that they want to hear feedback from the children one day. But where I think the gold is going to be is when Cody and Robin finally split up. Cody and Robin, they're going to give the most tea of anybody else in the family. Hey James, it's Lacey from Germany. I'm calling in because everyone...
I hit that. Yeah, I think, unironically, I think Cody and Robin would have the most tea, and they'd have the most incentive because they've generated the type of lifestyle where they have to have a lot of income. So they have the most incentive to, burn down the bridges. Plus, if they break up, both of them are scorched earth. So I don't think their egos could let it go. So they're coming out, not only coming out trash talking OG3, but they will destroy each other. Like, I think that people are sitting around saying, I'm waiting for the downfall of Cody and Robin. I think if the two of them, like the money start getting short and somehow they're able to hold on to a show or some type of platform, when that relationship dissolves and they break apart, they're going at each other knives out. It's going to be disgusting. If you talking about you waiting for them to see them break apart and see them like destroy, like they will destroy each other like heat-seeking missiles to a fireplace. Like it'll be crazy. They'll be all over each other with relentlessly, and they'll bring up all kinds of things. Oh, he gonna talk about what? She's trash talking me? Because Cody, he's sensitive as a thumb that got ran over by a truck. So he's already just, somebody saying something. He can't handle people talking about him. But Robin talking about him and dropping facts. And, she say little subtle shit. And she's always going to be the victim. And you always going to be the villain. So when she start dropping stuff, it's going to be ugly. I agree with that. I think that they'll be the ones who will come out and hit each other, So... the downfall will be accompanied, the downfall will be accompanied by the mutual mutilation of Robin and Cody. But thank you so much. Then we have Sunny Bunny.
Hi, James. I think Christine was right in that snippet of the preview of the tell-all when she said, like, this is an example of why this family did not work out. Because in this episode, what I've learned was how the women represent what actually happened to each other. Right. So Christine was like, oh yeah, I met with Cody. Everything was great. It was fine. I mean, it was a little awkward, but like, girl, you walked out. Like, what do you mean it was great? No, it wasn't that great. And Janelle trying to act all unbothered the whole episode. And it was very clear that she was not okay. I think she's still in pain over it. Like, stop trying to act like everything's fine and like nothing bothers you when it clearly does. She looked like she was about to cry in that cake at the celebratory divorce party. Like, come on. And I'm sorry, but the whole episode, I'm seeing Christine and Mary give Janelle so much grace over the fact that, she took this big step to separate herself from Cody. And the whole time I'm just sitting here like, oh my God, they don't know. They don't know about the backdoor deal. Not to mention the fact that everyone was betraying each other in the confessionals about this backdoor deal at the tell-all. It's a mess.
Okay. Well, you know what? I 100% agree. I think that on 2 points of that, fantastic, Sonny Bunny. But I think there's a point where, one, first and foremost, we have to get to a place, that we recognize the reality that it's okay not to be okay. If bad shit happens to you, it's okay for you not to be okay with it. I'm not cool with the fact that I don't make enough money. I'm not cool with the fact that my bills are behind. I'm not cool with the fact that you did something wrong to me. And even though I should have a co-parenting relationship with you, the fact that you betrayed me in a certain way, I'm not cool with it. I'm not okay with it. Right. And I think that we have to make it okay to not be okay, to normalize it and to be able to recognize that you're not okay. The other part of it, I think actually kind of goes hand in hand to a degree, is in this community, especially Utah and stuff, they're infamously known for caring about how they appear to other people, right? You could have a mess of a home, mess of a family life, but when you get out in the street, oh, everything is perfect. Your relationships are perfect. Your kids are perfect. Your job is perfect. Your house is perfect. There's never any problems. I try to keep my hair and makeup and clothes and stuff perfect. I keep my beard trimmed perfect, and everything is perfect and sunshine and rainbows, right? And you would think that being a family, you wouldn't carry that same mentality. But as Sonny Bunny said, I think that this also reveals a deeper problem within the family, is that even within the family, they see each other as strangers. The whole like we're one big happy family thing is, again, something you say because you want to look perfect and you don't want to be a part of a thing where, yeah, we're basically a bunch of strangers in a relationship together where we share a man. But no, we are family and we're together and we're one big happy family because that makes it okay for us to share a man and therefore it's perfect. But when you put it into practice, all of a sudden you are hiding things. You are keeping things back. You aren't sharing everything. When you're having problems and you're not okay, you're not willing to go to the meeting and say, you know what? I divorced Cody. Like Janelle go to her divorce party and say, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and celebrate being divorced because I'm not happy about being divorced. I'm not okay with being divorced. When I got married, I plan on that marriage lasting forever. I plan on being with this person until the day I die. We have kids together. We have kids and we've lost a child together. I didn't expect to be alone at this point in my life. So no, I'm not fucking okay. This is not all right. I'm pissed. I feel like I've been betrayed. I feel like I've been lied to. I feel like I've been cheated. I feel like somebody took something from me. Somebody came and took my life. So no, I'm not okay with this. And it's okay for you not to be okay with it. Because you not being okay with it is the first step for you to be able to actually deal with the issue. It's for you to recognize what the problem is, and that way you can address it, deal with it, and you can get through it. But if you sit there and cover it up and pretend like, oh yeah, I'm out here single life forever, baby. I'm doing my thing, shaking my ass like a money maker, like and all that stuff, and pretending like you happy. Yeah, it's a great time when you out with your friends and you sitting there high-fiving, cheersing, and you get drunk and dancing on the bar. But there's the point after the party. There's a point when you go home and you sitting in the kitchen by yourself at your kitchen table trying to figure out what you're going to do next. And when you're sitting there by yourself, all you got is yourself. And the problem is you can't lie to yourself. You can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to you. And you can tell by the way Janelle was responding to what Cody was saying. Oh, she was In that moment, I want to apologize. Because when I said I didn't love you, I did love you. If you could go into Janelle's mind, there's a scene in the I forget the name of the movie, The Hangover, where the guys are like, "We're back, we're back, we're back, we're back." Right? That's what I think that was going on in Janelle's mind when Cody had said that. Oh, I knew it. I knew it. We're back, baby. We're back. We're fucking back. Right? And then the reality that, Cody might have went down, got the draws, and then he was like, while he putting his pants on, he throw a little 20 on the counter because, Cody ass is cheap. Throw a 20 up on the nightstand and say, well, I got to get on back to Robin. Well, I felt maybe we was back. Robin ain't never letting you back in the family. I mean, maybe I can creep down North Carolina every once in a while. Yeah. I mean, plant my flower. You understand what I mean? Seed water some flowers down there. If you understand what I'm saying, meet at the not even at the Marriott. We're gonna meet at the Red Roof Inn. Motel 6, leave a light on. You understand what I mean? Maybe something like that. But no, you're not back. And then you have to deal with the emotions of that too. And then who is she going to tell? Mary, who wants to be back too, but he basically castigated her for even wanting to be back or attempting to come back and made her look stupid. So now she can't even say she wants to be back. So you can't share it with her. You definitely can't share it with Christine, because even if Janelle even kind of entertained the idea of, I'm hurt, I wish I could be with him, this is what I'm going through. The truth of the matter is that whether y'all like Janelle or not, the truth of the matter is that Janelle can never share what she's feeling with Christine honestly, because Christine will lose her mind and say, you can't never go back, and she's going to give her a whole lecture about what she did and what she needs to do and this, that, and other. And there is a part where I kind of get the feeling that Janelle might see herself as better than Christine, I guess is a fair way to say it. But you don't want people talking to you like that. I'm just saying. So she doesn't have really, if we just leave it where it is, in that instance, Janelle doesn't even really have a safe space between the other wives to actually have that conversation because of how their relationships were cultivated. They don't have that safe space where they can go to each other and say, this is how I feel, and let that sit before they start get ready to riot act. So I think that's a fair assessment. Sunny Bunny. Let's go to Sunny Bunny 2.
Also, about Mary's relationship, I understand that it's a bit boring, but I feel like good, stable relationships are a bit boring to the outside world. I understand that it doesn't make for great TV necessarily, but at the same time, I will say I would have liked this kind of relationship rather than the kiss fest that we got with Christine. Okay. And I understand Christine was super excited about David. Absolutely get it. But at the same time, I feel like just a little bit more restraint would have been better, at least for my viewing pleasure. And I feel like at least the little bits that I got to see of Mary's relationship, even though she's acting 15 and like, oh no, we're just friends. Okay, girlfriend, whatever. But the fact that Ron, talks more about himself and how he views life and what little things led to big decisions in his life, I feel like that brings depth to his character. Depth that I didn't get to see from David, because all I got to see was Christine jumping him every time.
That's a fair criticism. I think that that's why I said that I probably will be horrible at reality shows by design. My relationship is nowhere near exciting enough to be on television, and that's the way I like it. Like, I'm not sitting there wonder what she doing. I want why she over there on the phone. Who's calling her? Like, I'm not doing that shit. You know what I mean? And the truth of the matter is, if I had to question whether my wife was, entertaining other people, or, you know, when she walks out the door, like right now, if she got up and I heard the door close or whatever, and I heard a car start up and she drove off, I'm not gonna say, I wonder where she going, I wonder who she gonna see. Oh my goodness, I gotta make sure I check the GPS tracker. If I gotta do all that shit, it's not worth it to me. If I have those kind of questions, it's just not worth it to me. Like, it's the juice ain't worth the squeeze, because I can't go through life asking those kind of questions. Like, she get a phone call, who's you talking to? Who that there? Like, no, like, obviously I'm not, I will ask questions if it's stupid shit, like Cody talking about, she would be in the bathroom at 3 a.m. giggling her ass off. Yeah, I'm getting out of bed. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be disrespected either, but I'm not going out of my way to track people down and follow people and all that foolishness. So, I mean, I think that what you doing over there? I think that's the thing. Like, you don't want excitement in your relationship like that. So, a good relationship is actually boring, and it's boring to other people. Like Sunny Buddy was saying. The other leg of that is, it's boring to other people. People on the outside, when they look at your relationship, they'll say, "Yeah, that's not really the most exciting thing. It's not entertaining because you could sit in a room and with somebody you care about. For me, if it's somebody I really care about, I can sit in a room and I don't have to say a word. We can just be in each other's company, and that's enough for me. Like, I don't need to be sitting there, t- tell me everything you're thinking right now. What's on your mind? Oh no, can't keep anything secret. Can't have a secret place. It's peace and silence, and that's terrible television. That's terrible television. And I also agree that, and that's something that I cover in my video of heroes versus villains. You know, watching people struggle. Like, there is, for good storytelling, there has to be, for a good protagonist, you have to see, feel, and recognize that person's struggle, which could be, is easier if it's a failure, them trying something. Like, even with Christine, that's actually one of the things I said, exactly one of the things I said in my video. With Christine, it went right from married to Cody, shit relationship, divorced, moved to Utah. We heard that she went on a couple dates. All of a sudden, she found the man of her dreams. Easy peasy. Hit the easy button. That was easy. And then all of a sudden, she's engaged. She's going to be married. He's the love of her life. He's her soulmate. She, as Sonny Bunny says, she crawling up and down this dude. She gripping him up like a like old luggage. You know what I mean? Like, it's insanity. It's just, for a while it started getting uncomfortable. Like, nobody wants to see. Some of the times you have a friend, you don't want to see him do lap dances and shit. What's going on, girl? Take that shit back to the room, right? This kid's present. You trying to pop it like it's hot? Like, come on now. Playing 2 Live Crew, right? So I get that. And with Mary, like I said, they're missing an opportunity, because if you want to see Mary, they struggled because they had Cody, and they were down bad because they had Cody. But to watch them rise and get to that point of the happy relationship, I think is a missed opportunity for TLC, especially when it came to Christine. It seems like they're trying to take advantage of it with Mary, but I think that they have to seed in some of the frogs that Mary has to kiss. If Ron is her guy, they have to seed in some of the frogs. So seeing Amos and maybe how they worked out, somebody who was trying to take advantage of her and, opportunist because he wants to be on the show, and that's why he's dating her, and her having to navigate that. Then she finds somebody. That storyline, I think, will be way more rewarding for an audience to watch. But in order for you to do it, the cast member at hand would have to have the courage to be that vulnerable, to show their failure. And again, that goes against the Utah way of life. You like the whole I'm perfect and everything is perfect, because you're going to struggle. I went out with this guy, pulled up Or, I got on the dating app. I was on Tinder. I swiped left or right, whichever way you get people. And then I said, yeah, we're going to meet at such and such. I pull up to the spit out. I jump out the car. She looked at me. I looked at her. Then she just said, check, please, turn on her heels and walked away. Like those stories you have to see, I think, in order for you to recognize the win. And this also goes like with any traditional movie, like old school movie, where you have like Rocky get his ass whipped, lost. He's struggling. He gets his ass whipped. Every movie you saw with Rocky, Sylvester Stallone got his ass whipped in the first part of the movie. The second part of the movie is him getting past it, him deciding to train. Then you see him put in the work. Then you see him in the training montage. He out there running. It's the eye of the tiger. It's the thrill of the fight. And he running across the beach. With him and the late great Carl Weathers, built like a brick shit house. I'm saying, and two of these big husky ass dudes running down the beach, and nobody running. Like you see these two big motherfuckers running at you, and nobody like, oh shit, get your stuff, girl. Let's get out. That's the only thing I call cap. Stop the cap. There's no way in the world you're gonna see these two big muscle-bound mugs running down the beach and not 4 or 5 people getting a run on. Right? Either, and I 100% agree with this observation from Said the Entertainer. I come from a community. If one person run, we all running. Right? I don't know what's going on, but I see somebody running, I'm running. And we'll talk about during the run while we running, but I'm not going to get caught not running, right? So you see somebody running. So you see Carl Weathers and Sylvester Stallone running down the beach with some coochie cock cutter shorts on, right? Shirts off, muscles and shit glistening in the sun. And you see these two dudes running down the Oreo package, chocolate and vanilla running down, and all they need is Neapolitan. They one short from Neapolitan, right? You see them running down the beach, and then all of a sudden, everybody just sitting there looking at them. Shit, you either run with them or you run from them. That's all I'm saying. Went off on a tangent. Sorry. But that's part of the montage. And then once the montage gets done, then you see the victory. But it's not, the victory seems hollow if you skip the first 2 parts, the first 3 parts, the struggle, the recognition, the depression from seeing the struggle, the loss. The struggle comes from the loss. So the loss, the struggle, then the workout montage, then the victory. If you just tune into the movie, you started the movie backwards and you saw Sylvester Stallone, Rocky, beating the shit out of the big villain, it doesn't mean anything. Because they've started these types of movies with Rocky whipping somebody's ass. And it didn't mean anything. It's like, all right, Rock did it again. Yeah, he's the greatest. So I think Sonny Bunny's on to something. Like, for television's sake, I understand why they might not want to do it. For personal life, because again, reality shows will destroy your relationships. That's another reason why I wouldn't do a reality show, because I like the person I'm with. So if I did a reality show, they could jeopardize that relationship, and it's not worth it to me. I don't care how much money they paid me. So, because some things are more valuable than money. Like you could have love, you got money, you got both, but one can't replace the other. You could be in love all day and broke as hell. You could be rich as shit and can't find nobody who actually likes your ass. They like your money. They'll sit in the room with your money all day. But as soon as the money go, they going too. So I think that's the thing. So excellent observation, Sonny Bunny. I appreciate you. Next up, we got Becky in the house.
Hi, James. It's Becky, and I wanted to comment on that fake ATV accident that Cody had. I have a few questions about that. Number one, why did Cody have a camera mounted on his ATV? The answer would be because the accident was pre-planned. Number two, why was the camera pointed at his midsection instead of his face if he wanted to film himself? That would be because it wasn't really Cody on the ATV. It was a stunt man. And so why do this at all? Well, because it gave Cody the opportunity to show off his awesome strength by deadlifting that ATV. And, we all know that he was in training for special forces, and he's all into showing his physical strength in every single episode. That ATV accident was just as fake as Robin's was. Got to hear your comments on this, James.
Well, my comment is that, I'm not one for conspiracy theories, but as far as conspiracy theories go, that's a good one. Okay. It's a good one, because there are some things because it wouldn't make sense for them to, especially as this isn't Cody's first season of not only not being on a reality show and being in front of a camera, but they've been taping themselves for years now, finding the right angles, setting up cameras, especially during COVID. They did all that filming themselves, right? So it would be very weird. And let's be honest, in just production side, they're not the mounted cameras that they have on the ATV to catch that what's called B-roll, because it's not a main story plot. So it's just B-roll. It's like somewhere you would insert at a later point, maybe for filler or for context. That B-roll footage wouldn't be something that you would have them set up. That would be something that production would set up. And they might even to give some secrets away. When you see movies and they set up a scene, the primary actors of that scene, the people that they're paying, they'll have trailers and shit, right? And you'll come out, you do the wardrobe, makeup, all that. You'll come out to set, and maybe even before, usually at wardrobe, makeup, but you'll come out to set. You'll be on set, and they're setting the cameras and stuff up, and they'll run the scene on where everybody is, what everybody's doing, This is how they set the scene, build the scene. They'll run through all of it, and they'll talk about the angles or which ways they're going to shoot everybody, how many takes they're going to say. Is it going to be a wide shot? Is it going to be a close up? Are they going to do a camera one or camera two? Angles and that kind of thing. So basically, are we going to be shooting over the shoulder so they can get my reaction? Are they going to shoot over my shoulder to get this person's reaction? Are they going to shoot another scene where you can see both of us? And you run that scene over and over and over again so that way they can get all the materials they need, right? Between all that, because you have, especially if you have like a good production like Paramount, WB, even SAG contracts, let's be honest, they got contracts. They will hire body doubles. So there's a guy who they would hire who would be like my size or my body dimensions, and they would have that guy stand in my place so that they could figure out where to put the cameras, like how to set the cameras up, what angles they're going to use. And while they're doing that, the actor or principal typically will either be in their trailer or they over at Crafty's getting some delicious ass foods and coffee, right? Right? That's how it's done. And you can't tell me on a reality show, maybe they don't have a body double for Cody, but they would have somebody about Cody's height sit on the damn thing to make sure the levels are right. Because what you don't want to have happen is you don't want to have like pure D reality show gold and you're filming this dude's crotch. He's about to say something crazy or Robin jump off the, coming like Cody's sitting there, checking his controllers on his ATV and Robin come storming into the garage. You mother so-and-so. And she cold cocks Cody because she went through his phone and found out that either he was stealing money or he was talking to some young girls, right? And she coming in and pop him in the kisser. You don't want to miss that. You want to have that shit live and live in color. So the cameras are going to be on his face. So with that being said, especially if you're doing something like B-roll, they doing action sequences and stuff, you got to have like the smiles and them like riding. Yeah, oh, this is awesome. You don't shoot his chest. So that would be weird. Like I'm telling you, like that is super duper weird. That goes beyond just like a camera slap. That is super weird. Super duper weird. Because you know how many people would get fired if you went a whole day of what listening to these two drone on and talk about how much they love each other and how much they trying to make you want to be a monogamous. Yeah, I want to be a monogamous. I'm tired of being a polygamous. I want to be a monogamous. You know, and they had this whole dumbass conversation, and it's like the 15th time they shot this same ass scene. And then you go back and you look at the daily, the record from like what you shot that day, and you got nothing but they chest. You see Cody's beer belly, and you see Robin's, you see Robin's Thundercat. You know how like somebody is mega fired. Mega fired. Because you might not be paying Cody and them to be out there for the day, but you are paying the camera crew, you're paying the sound guy, you're paying the light guy, you're paying the makeup artist, you're paying the hair people, you're paying for if you're putting them on a track or something, you're renting a place out potentially. So there's cost for scenes. And you would get, boy, you'd be mega fired. What are you doing? Were you drinking on the job? So that's crazy. The way, like, it just didn't feel real to me, the way the bike went down. Like, I've seen people have stupid ass accidents before, especially motorcycle stuff. Like I said, I saw the guy like tip over. And that reminded me of that accident where it was just something silly. And if Cody was hot dogging, I those ATV accidents, I'm gonna be honest, and even the way Robin tried to describe it, ATV accidents are violent. Now, motorcycle accidents are violent. I know a couple people went down on motorcycles. Some people ain't even here no more. But ATV accident, motorcycle accidents are violent. They're violent experiences. You know, even when it's like minor accidents are extremely violent. Serious accidents, people are either hospitalized for long periods of time or they putting paperwork on your toes. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like that. So that accident, I don't know, man. And I can see Cody try, and especially because they brought it up before you get out to the place. Like, remember your accident? I'm gonna put it in your front of your mind. Remember that time you got into the accident? And then I just so happened to go out that same day and get an accident. If anything, if you guys are crashing that much, you need to stop riding ATVs. This shit ain't for you. If you're crashing, especially, it's not like you guys are out doing like Moto X or something. Like you out there on jumping stuff or you racing around the track and you having mishaps or whatever. You're just out there driving and you're crashing. This shit ain't for you. Look, I said before, I ride a motorcycle. Yeah, look at how bad Dayton's was. Yeah, ATV accidents ain't no joke. I mean, you can get put in a chair in an ATV. Like, I don't even like it. I ride motorcycles. I'm not fond of ATVs. They're not my favorite because there's things you can do on a motorcycle that if you do those same things on ATV because of the steering and stuff, they are prone to flip over on you. So, but I ride motorcycles, and I've been riding motorcycles for years. Like I right now I have a cruiser. I used to have a sport bike, right? But I ride a big old cruiser, big hog. And my brother was thinking about going down and getting him a motorcycle. In fact, he went down. I suggested to him, before you buy a motorcycle, go down and do the safety course in my state. They're free. You can learn how to ride a motorcycle. You don't have to buy a motorcycle. They'll provide a helmet. All you got to do, show up, have a pair of gloves and boots. Like have some, boots or high top shoes, cover your ankles and jeans. You're good to go. They'll teach you how to ride a motorcycle. He went to that thing and he bought a helmet, which I recommended he didn't, but he bought his own helmet. And he went to that thing. I think he finished the course, but at the end of the course or halfway through the course, he gifted me the helmet. He said, James, you got the helmet. The helmet's downstairs now. It's actually pretty nice. So I'm like, thank you very much. This is awesome. But he got out there. It just wasn't for him. And that's one of the things I told him. Like, this shit is not for everybody. It's exciting and it's exhilarating. When I first started doing it, the reason I really liked it is because it made me feel like I did when I was a kid riding bicycles. You ride a bike, you feel that wind in your hair, and I would jump my bike off anything. That's part of the reason why I move so slow now, probably, is because I was very reckless with my body when I was a young man. But that motorcycle shit, it's not for everybody, and you have to be able to act boldly and make decisively when you're on a motorcycle, much more so than you do when you're in a car, because you're vulnerable, and it's not for everybody. And watching them crash the way they crash, and every season so far for the last 2 seasons, you guys have had an accident. You're running out of luck. If this was true, you guys are terrible. This is terrible. You're terrible ATV people, especially as much as these motherfuckers are supposed to, pardon my friend, especially as these people are supposed to be riding ATVs. Like, for you to have that type of accident, like, come on, what are you doing? You need to stop. You need to stop. So yeah, I'm kind of with you, Becky. Like, this accident was suspect as hell to me. This is what do you say? This shit funnier than a $3 bill. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. Okay, okay. Thank you, Becky. Yeah, what was this? Jody Periscala. She said, Jody Periscala, how much coffee you had a day? $1.99 super chat. Amped up. I'm ready to go. I told you, coffee and other nose beards come from the same place, Colombia. Maybe they confused mine. I don't know. Like this guy, eyes like saucers. He's doing his live. He's still going 4 hours later. But thank you so much, Jody. Oh, man. Yeah, I shouldn't even say that. Like, it's the season. My sinus is running. They be like, "Oh, you on that stuff? You on that stuff? You on that lady?" It's just coffee, I promise. Ty with the $2 super chat. Megatron Janelle is truth. The sacred cow. Are we about to have a brawl in we're about to have a deck clear the decks. Janelle is the truth. Yeah, I mean, we probably will. You know what? It's weird because I had always said that that's one of the dangers with spinoffs for them, because they're all flawed people. Nobody's perfect. So they've gone a long time. The OG3 have gone a long time where they were pretty much untouchable because they were paired with such terrible fucking people. Like these, Cody and Robin are so bad that putting them next to them, like, you overlook a lot of stuff. So it'll be a little different if the hyper focus is on these people and their personalities and their character. We might see a different side. So, and I'm not just saying that about Janelle. I'm saying that about everybody involved. So the spinoffs could be precarious. But thank you so much, Ty. And I respect it. People ride for their people. I get it. Jody Periscala with the $1.99 super chat said, our ATV has 2 keys to use. One is for less power. And I've heard that before. Like they have limiters. There's ATVs that have limiters through their keys, or I think there's something you could do with the engine or whatever, where you can limit the amount of power, like how fast you can go, how much power is generated on ATV. I've heard that before. And it wouldn't surprise me because the ATVs that Cody and Robin have are like $20,000 ATVs. Like, those are serious ATVs. Those are not like little Polaris, $5 joints. Not Polaris does make expensive ones, but I'm just saying, like, what are we doing? Like, you guys are just shitting money. Maybe even to Becky's point, did it ever occur to anybody that maybe Robin was out there messing around with his ATV? You know what I mean? She's like, I'm not trying to be divorced again. And nobody gets sympathy like a widow. Cody need to watch himself. Like all of a sudden he'd be on the ATV, be like, oh, wait a minute. Hit that foot brake and nothing's stopping. I don't know. Do ATVs have foot brakes? My motorcycle does. All right, Jody. Thank you. You pulling that brake. Nothing happened, boy. You be like, what the shit? You turned it into the accelerator. You get 3 stops, and all of a sudden you look back, all you got is nothing but a puddle of brake fluid just on the ground. Thank you so much, Jody. Let's see. Next up, we have Candace.
James, it's Candace. Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
I'm listening to your show, your Sunday night show after the finale, and yeah, it was lame for sure. Nothing really going on there. But it just pissed me off. Janelle just dismissing the whole, oh, I was married to Mary's brother, not even a year. So it doesn't matter. And that tells me all I need to know about Janelle, that she doesn't give a shit about people. She basically will just dismiss them. She doesn't care about girl code. She just basically dismissed a whole ass relationship with Mary's brother. And yeah, I think most women and any human being is going to be weirded out by that. If you're messing around with my brother, boinking my brother, and then you go and you want to get with my husband, yeah, that's weird. And then not only that, the dynamics of a divorce and how her brother may feel and the family may feel, it's just weird. And it makes for a very weird holidays, okay? So the fact that Janelle just doesn't even seem to give a shit tells me everything. That woman's just not right in the head. Anyway, what do you think? I think I know what you think and everybody thinks about Janelle, but anyway.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think that again, that goes back to what I was saying about the spinoff idea for them, because there might be things that she's accepted or she's come around to, which just is hard. Like, it just comes off so bad. It comes off so bad because you guys, it's not like they talked about how Janelle came into the family and becoming Sister Wives, the book they first released. So the information has been out there, but even though it's older information has been out there, it's never really been discussed on the show. So this is like, as far as there's book, which is canon, there's a show, which is canon, but the things talked about in the book weren't necessarily talked about on the show. And because it was never really talked about or discussed on the show, people who didn't read the book, this is new to them. So you just dropped a big ass bomb on half your audience, probably more than half your audience, a good portion of your audience. So you put it back in the forefront of their mind. And then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, that's normal. There's nothing normal about you screwing my family and then trying to join my family. Like, you're screwing my brother and you going to come back and you going, what? Like, there's no way that works. There's no way. If you're married, you're screwing my brother, because let's put it where it is. It's not just the fact you married. That's part of it. That's a deeper commitment, but that also goes to the banal reality that they were having naked mambo sessions. So you knocking boots with my brother, and then you come back and I find out you with my husband. Ugh. And like I said, like, for most people, just basic bro code, girl code, like, you don't screw your friends and family's exes. That's like rule number 1 in most communities. Like, I know in this community it's a little different. This culture is a little different, but in most mainstream communities, that shit would be a straight up pub. Like you'll be out back squabbing. If you found out like your like, and this is when you found out your wife went to a club and she was messing around with your brother or whatever before you met her, you would feel betrayed because you're like, bruh, y'all should have told me before we got to the point where we had the reception dinner for our wedding. You should have mentioned that you guys had met at a bar one and had a one night stand. That's information I want to know. And I would be mad at that. But for you to sit there and talk about I was full on in a full relationship with this person, full on married with this person, and just because you say, and this is where it becomes very similar to the idea notion of what, way Cody was doing stuff, just because you said it's not a big deal or it's not a big deal to you doesn't mean it automatically translates to it not being a fucking big deal to me. Because you're okay with it doesn't mean that I'm okay with it. And I think that that's the part of it that gets really like, it's the lack of empathy and even sympathy and empathy in that situation where she doesn't see where that could be a problem. Going into it, you should have known that this is a problem. This actually touches into like that old energy where you have somebody that'll go out and somebody will walk in the door, or they'll be, or better yet, you'll have two people who are friends and hey, I met this guy, your buddy Tom. Oh yeah, I've known him for years. Or Michelle, I've known her for years. That's my buddy. And then the two of them start dating. Like Michelle starts dating Tom, my friend for years. And then because I go and sleep with Michelle, all of a sudden it's like, well, she was my friend first. I don't understand why it's a problem. I known her longer than you. Yeah, but I was in a relationship with her. It's that same type of logic. Or your person chose me. It's that same type of logic. Like it would be illogical for you to be angry. After all, you guys were dating. He wasn't happy. Then he chose me. Get over it. Like, it's that same type of logic. It comes off super cold. So I don't think that that's going to play well. I just don't. It's not going to go good. And maybe that's why, like, everybody was like, oh, Janelle's talking about quitting because she wants to go. Maybe she's talking about quitting because she did this tell-all. The tell-all, the tell-all makes her look like dog shit. And so she's like, I'm done because she can't take it, because it is hard. It's hard. Like Cody and Robin's position, as much as we may dislike them, they're in a very difficult position, tenuous position. Because I would have came off the show if I was acting like they were acting and my bullshit was being revealed the way their bullshit is being revealed. I'd have quit this show a long time ago. Not saying they're gonna stop doing the bullshit, but I don't want everybody to know I'm doing it. I don't know. But we got Candace part 2.
Hi, James. It's Candace again. Number 2. Anyway, for quite a while, I've been feeling that something's off about Janelle. Like, I can't totally put my finger on it, but she's just not right in the head. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to move on from that. And I just want to bring up about Christine and Janelle's conversation, just talking about, their meeting with Cody, the apology meeting, and just, he didn't bring up the kids. Well, why didn't you bring up the kids? Either one of you ladies. Why did David have to bring it up? To me, that's their responsibility to advocate for their kids and bring those kids up, because Cody, the piece of shit that he is, they know that he's not going to bring those kids up. So they need to fight for their kids. And that is their only business with Cody, is to discuss those children. Whatever else doesn't even matter. It's not relevant. They have moved on. The only thing that is relevant is those children. And they should have brought those children up. Shame on them. And now they're going back, backpedaling. Oh, he didn't bring the children up. Fuck you. All right. Bye.
Candace like, F you. I can tell by the tone. She's like, I'm done. Like that's the dismissive. I gotta get out of my face. Get out of here. She talking to them like little kids. Get out of here. Again, one fresh one across the chappers. That's awesome. But I 100% agree. I think that there's a point too that, especially if you guys have been broke up, you were in a relationship, right? You break up and you get back together to talk or to make amends because you share children. In that first meeting where you guys get back together, it's about tone setting. It's about you setting the pace and tone of how your relationship is going to move forward when you guys come together to talk about anything. So when you come together and you talk about like you've been absent for a little while and you're supposed to be meeting to talk and you guys have kids and how we're going to get along, because the only reason why you are even entertaining this meeting, I'm assuming, is because you have kids together. Otherwise, he could kick rocks. So you're like, oh, well, we got to meet because we're going to have to deal with each other and I'm doing this shit for the kids. When you meet, you set the tone of that meeting by talking about the kids. Oh, you know what? Savannah said hi. I talked to her this morning. She knew I was meeting with you. She said hi. That sets the tone. The same way Cody sat down and sucked down those beers, assholes. That sets the tone of that meeting. This sets the tone. It's so important for you to set the tone of how we're going to interact with each other. Just so we're clear. Like, I don't want there to be any confusion. You're not coming back. Just because we're meeting doesn't mean we're going to slide into the mosey-wosey. Just because we meet, we're not going to the no-tell motel. We're not going to the Greenleaf, popping it into the park. You understand what I mean? We're not doing that. We're not doing that shit. We're here to talk about the kids. And no, I don't want to talk about a whole bunch of extraneous stuff. I don't want to talk about the weather, none of that. I don't want to waste my time. We could be courteous. We could be cool. We could be congeal. But at the same time, we need to set the tone of how our relationship is going to proceed. I need you to take me serious. I need you to be able to regard me with a certain level of respect. Because if you don't, then every conversation that we have from this point forward will look like just like the conversations we used to have, which caused me to leave your punk ass in the first place. So when we come back together, we need to be on a new program, a new agenda. And I 100% agree. Like, you make it about, like, you talk about the kids. He don't want to talk about the kids because technically, let's be honest, he wasn't there to apologize for anything he did wrong. He was there to apologize about how you felt about what he did. That's when he was apologizing. I'm sorry you felt so bad. I'm sorry I offended you. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. That's not a sorry. You don't give a shit. You don't care. So no, take your apology, shove it up your ass, walk sideways, walk your crooked ass back to the car. Good luck on the ride home. Hope you hit potholes, ass. That's how I feel about it. Don't pull me down here, have me driving, leaving my house for some ridiculousness. No, we're not doing that. Again, setting the tone. We're not going to talk about a whole bunch of bullshit, just like on Coyote Pass. I'm out there knocking on windows. You're going to have me out there for an hour. Excuse me, I thought we were meeting at 9 o'clock. I mean, as big as that house is, you don't have 1 clock in that motherfucker at work? Oh, see, that's your problem. You always acting out, you're coming out your neck. No, I wouldn't be saying shit to you if you would have showed up on time. And then I got the realtor showing up late. What time did you guys plan on meeting? Oh, you so difficult. No, I'm being real. And I bet you if you show your ass, I bet you next time, well, I ain't trying to trip. I ain't trying no problems. So let's make sure we get the time straight. Don't be late. Setting the tone. Because push him down the shelf, that's what he's used to. He's used to coming in and doing whatever he wants and acting however he wants and pretending like it's not a big deal. And the problem is that, as Sonny Bunny said, as Candace said, as a few people have kind of mentioned or intonated, and I won't put words in people's mouths, but this is reflective of how their relationships work. Cody sets the tone for the family because he was the leader of the family. Fish rot from the head down, blah, 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 right? So any failure in an organization is usually the result of failure of leadership. because you set the tone as the leader. And because Cody doesn't take responsibility for things, he sets an improper tone. He comes in, tries to control the situation. He comes in, and if it doesn't affect him or it's not important to him, it's just not important. So guess what happens? The people in his organization who do the same thing, they may not be able to do it to Cody, but they damn sure do it to each other. And they do it to people who are they consider to be subordinate to him. And I think that that's just an example of what we're seeing now. It's not a big deal that I was banging your brother. What? So you're telling me that if Caleb, who has kids with Maddie, decided he was going to go ahead and, shit ain't working out and ain't popping like it used to, so I'm going to go over there and skate off, and I'm going to try to bang out Isabel or Aspen or Maddie. I'm going to try to knock it off on one of them. Then y'all shouldn't be mad at all. Shit happens. Sometimes you be in a place, you connect with somebody, the heart wants what the heart wants. You tell me you wouldn't be mad? That's all I'm saying. Like, if you did it to somebody and you wasn't okay with it, would you let somebody do it to your kids? And would you be okay with it? I used to say that about Cody. Cody, I'm not sure. If somebody was treating your daughters the way you treat your wives, would you be okay with it? With Cody, I don't know. He might be okay with it because he's an ass. But me, I would not be okay with that. So it'd be a problem. But thank you so much. Appreciate you. Let me D said all that about Janelle's mama having to tell him. These people never has a real conversation. G's too busy talking behind backs. Like I said, that's the way the family's set up. And that's the execution of the family. They set it up that way. But let's pull in time. You know what? Let's talk about something Dee brought up. Because this is where I was gonna put Dee's thing. Dee had called and she had left a message. And I was talking last week about, I don't want to misquote it. But basically last week I was saying that this happened the third time on this stream. Just lost my train of thought. Let me go to Tanya Carter real quick. And then I'll come back to that. We'll talk about D because I think it deserves a spot. It deserves a spot. Tanya Carter, Miss Carter.
So I'm listening to Notes to Self, and they're talking about when Cody asked for the release, And when he first said that, I was like, bullshit, you didn't ask for no damn release. But I was thinking maybe from Christine or somebody, but they're saying, Melanie is saying that she thinks that he probably went when the catfish happened with Mary. He probably went to the leadership to see what he could do about that, if he could get out of it, because he felt cheated on or whatever. And the leadership probably came back at him saying, what did you do to make your wife feel, so neglected that she needed to step outside of the marriage and find attention somewhere else? Like, they would have put it back on him for not being a good priesthood holder. And so she's saying she probably thinks that's where he kind of was like, well, F those guys, and fell out of, really wanting to be associated with the church. And that's what he's talking about. But of course, in his talking head, he has to make it seem like, he tried to get rid of all these bitches before they got rid of him. And that's not really what it was. And I didn't even think of that. That does make sense. What do you think?
I can see that. Again, I talk about it in that video I made with the talking about the AUB's position. I could see that. I could see him going and requesting. Hell, I think he might even went before the catfish. But it could have very well have been like the catfish could have been the thing that broke the camel's back. It could have been a way that he saw that for sure I'm going to be able to get out of this relationship because she essentially tried to cheat on me. And that would be considered an affair. And for him to be rejected, I think that I think it's special when he says, men can't leave, because this is something that he said before. Men can't leave these relationships. We have to stay. Now, the problem that he very well may have is that even when Mary talked about going down and applying for her release was more heavy lifting, because she put in the application. She talked to Cody. Cody resisted it. Cody had pushed back on her and said, don't get the release because I'll be embarrassed, et cetera, et cetera. She's got a time set up. She shared it with Cody. They were supposed to meet there. He decided he wasn't going to go. She went and had the conversation with the council or the AUB folks. The AUB people told her to leave and they'll give her an answer in a few days. Right. And she persisted. And at that point, they were like, okay, well, we'll just go ahead and give it to you now. That's how she wound up walking out with the release that day, because she pushed it. But they weren't going to give it to her off cuff. They weren't going to give it to her off rip. And they were probably going to debate it and whether they should do it, because normally we don't do it. That's the way I feel about it. Normally we don't do this shit. Especially we don't be giving it to the women's, But Cody, he would have, in that instance, if he would have put in for a release, Mary would have been able to come in there and talk about it. And even in the initial interview, there's a strong possibility the men weren't just placating Cody, patting his ass and rubbing his nuts and talking about, oh, you're a great man and you're such a victim, and this crazy trifling ass woman did this wrong thing to you. I agree with Mel. They might have started saying, well, what did you do? What weren't you doing? What is she going to say when you come in there and say that she ran off and started cheating on her? Is she going to say that you weren't coming around to the house? Is she going to say you weren't spending time with her? Or is she when was the last time you slept with her? Because they're going to get into the weeds. When was the last time you knocked her off? You threw the vitamin D on her, gave her a daily dose. When was the last time? And he going to say, well, it's been probably about, at that point, it was probably about at least, because he stopped sleeping with her when the show came in, when he went to Vegas. I don't think he slept with her at all in Vegas. So by that time, it was 7 years or so. And so you're saying, you surprised that she, I'm surprised she waited that long, player. You know what I mean? That's on you. We're not going to reward you for not doing what you should be doing. We're not going to reward you by giving you a divorce and giving you a way out. Because they're not running that kind of party. That's bad for the brand. Let's put it where it is. That's bad for the brand. So I can see them saying, okay, fine, we'll give you the release, but we're going to blame you and hold you accountable too. Because even if they say that, yeah, we'll give you the release, but we're going to say it was mutual destruction of the family. We're not just going to put it all on her. You're going to have to carry some of that weight. Cody will walk out of there and say, no, that's a fail. Because like he said, I didn't want a divorce on my record here. I still hear that shit. So, I agree with Mel and them, but I would even take it a step further. I take it a step further. I think he did put in for it. And I think they did push back on him. But I think if they were going to grant him a release, they were going to hold him. It was going to be a mutual destruction of the family, not just that it's her fault and she messed up and she's a terrible person. So he would have had to carry that weight too, because he abandoned her and neglected her, which caused her to step outside the relationship, which would be punishable by him being able to kick her out the family. Because these guys do not do, that's another thing. Let's be very clear. In my opinion, I got to maybe talk to Mel about it, but I don't think these guys do the whole cuckoldry, where you can, you could be backsliding on somebody and knocking their wife down. And these guys are like, well, I'm married to her. We're going to be in heaven together. And I'm banging it down daily. There's no way in the world they're going to let her stay around the family. So, yeah, I see that. But thank you. And we'll go to Tanya part 2.
This week's episode, it's so interesting to watch Cody with Robin now. He seems very deflated. And she seems very desperate to want to seem like she wants to be with him. But I'm just still not buying that they have this great love affair and finally they can live it and live out their love. I'm just not seeing it, and I'm not buying it because Cody is used to all of the wives like fawning over him and making him this desirable stud muffin that everybody wants to be with. And then, Robin always had all of his attention, and, she got the prize all the time. And now nobody's fawning over him. It's just him. And you can see it all over him. It's like he doesn't feel, I don't feel as confident and secure as he did when he had all these women and children around him. And I think he sees that Robin is kind of not impressed anymore. And they're both just lying to each other and like trying to boost each other up and gas each other up, as the kids would say.
I can see that. I think too, it's kind of the blending of they don't have anybody to be against, and their relationship, I think, was built on an adversarial foothold, to where it was the what I like to term it as the Romeo and Juliet effect. They have this secret, sacred love that the world is trying to dominate and destroy, and is them against this invisible adversary. And in the beginning, it was like the adversary was the wives, and then they could transpose that adversary onto the general public because we're not accepting their relationship. So that brought them together, and they could, when they get together, that would probably be 95% of their conversation about how everybody hating on them and trying to break their relationship up. But then you have the wives move on, and they accept the fact that you're together, and they're no longer fighting Cody for time. They're no longer bad talking Robin because she's spending all the time with Cody, because they accept the fact that the two of them are together. So that eliminates one source of conversation and competition. The general public, the fan base, we've known forever. Like, even when Cody comes out like, oh, y'all just jealous because I have a relationship with this special, wonderful woman that I loved and this, that, and other, and I'm not with these other three women. You guys can't handle it, and that's why the world hates love, and they're trying to destroy love. We just don't give a shit. I don't care that you're with Robin. I never cared that you were with Robin. The only real disagreement I have with Cody, man to man, the only real disagreement I have with you is the fact that you never told your wives. You never stood up as a man, but stiffened your spine, went into those women's houses, stood in the living room floor, and had a real conversation about how you no longer want to be in a relationship with them. This isn't working for me. I my heart isn't in it. I don't want to be with you anymore. It's nothing about where we were. It's about how we move forward. And me moving forward with you, we're not moving forward together. It's never going to happen. And so at this point, I'm going to have to step off. I found a person that excites me, a person that I want to be with. And it really, when push comes down to shove, if you really want to be a man about it, it has nothing to do with the person that I'm with. It's just that I don't want to be with you. It starts there. It starts and stops there. I don't want to be with you anymore. Now, if you would have did that, you're still a shit person. You're still going to catch shit. But I would respect the fact that you went to him and told him that this isn't working out for you. I would respect that. And I would have nothing to say about any of the other shit. The problem you have is that you can't stand there now that the three women left, because you were mistreating them, you were neglecting them, you had abandoned them, and they decided, you know what, I'm going to pack my shit and I'm going to go. And because they go, now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm going to tell the truth, and this is the woman I want to be with. There's no courage in that. That's not bravery. That's cowardice. So no, I don't respect it. That's why I don't respect their relationship. Because if you are in love, look, if you're in love with somebody, there's an old saying, backdoor lover. You know what I mean? Not backdoor lover, but like a person who hides and creeps. When people come in, you keep them hidden, and you don't acknowledge that you're in a relationship with them. That kind of lover, the window creeper, window pane, because they always diving out the window. Every time somebody pull up, my parents is here. You got to dive out the window, right? There is a point where that type of love wears on you. And if you can't walk down the street with me, hold my hand, and be proud of being with me, then what are we doing? And that gets to the whole point of like, having pride in yourself, having respect in yourself. I'm not going to come around your house and call myself your man or your boyfriend or whatever, and I can only come around your house when the sun go down. I can only, when we go out, we have to go somewhere where you're never going to run into anybody you know. We got to go to the dark side of the moon to have dinner because you don't want anybody to see you with me. That's not a love affair. And that's what Cody and Robin were doing the whole time on the show. You were sneaking over to her house and then pretending like you wasn't over there. You didn't care about her. You would intentionally take pictures and Robin would be on one side of the picture with maybe Christine or Mary between her and Cody, but Cody will be looking past and basically looking through Christine and Mary standing next to him. Look at some of the sister wife promo pictures. There's always pictures of Cody looking at Robin, eye gazing with Robin, trying to connect with Robin, and it doesn't matter what any of those other women doing. Those women could be playing with his nuts, and he's still looking Robin in the face. That's just how it was. But he never had the courage to stand up and say, look, and again, the respect levels, I would respect the fact if he went to Christine, Mary, and Janelle and said, look, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste your years. I don't want you to keep invested in me, and I'm not worthy of that investment because my heart isn't in this anymore. It will be heartbreaking. It will be terrible, but it will be honest. And like I said, I think that's more of like Cody's always sitting around talking about celebrating his love. To me, that's a celebration of your love. Not only your love for the person that you're with, but a love for the people that you were with and a love for yourself. Because I don't want to be that guy. Like, and whatever happened to that part, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that man. The dude who's going to sit here and pretend to be something for somebody who needs me to be that something. I know I can never be that something, but I'm going to pretend to do it anyway. And it's in my power to stop it, but I'm not going to because it's inconvenient. Or the conversation's too hard. It's too hard to talk about. Like chump ass shit. It's chump. You're a chump. That's why I don't respect your relationship. It has nothing to do with, I don't love love. I love love. I love people being in love. I love people getting good fortune. I love people winning. I like people winning. Winning in life, love, finance, whatever the case. I love people winning. Winning in life. But this isn't winning in life. If you have to do underhanded backwater shit, you have to do backdoor deals, you have to do underhanded, undercut stuff in order for you to get ahead, that's not winning. That's cheating. Right? Nobody said that. When was the last time they made a movie about a team or a sports person or a fighter or whatever? I will go back to my Rocky example. Rocky get his ass whipped by Mr. T. Bow, bow, bow. Clubber went like tear his ass up. The Russian beat the shit out of Rocky. And then Rocky go take the loss. He recognize it. And then when he go to train, instead of him training, he start lacing in knuckle dusters into his boxing mitts. Right? He put steel in his boxing mitts and he get there and he cheats. Nobody is celebrating that victory. Yeah, he cheated his way to victory. It's ridiculous. It's shit storytelling. And you're a shit person if you think that that's how you're going to get ahead. And people are going to celebrate it. Nobody celebrates cheaters. The old song, cheaters never win. Come on now. But next up. To talk about the thing with Dee. Dee had a thing where she called in and because I had mentioned recognizing signs. So when people are in relationships, try to recognize those signs early on because people don't start out treating you nasty. It builds, it becomes something where, at some later point, they reveal themselves, but it's little indignities that they give you throughout over a course or a period of time. Right. And Dee called in. And I see where she's coming from, and I recognize the point. She called in and said, well, I think that it also has to be recognized that people in those situations, it's not just that this is the first time something has happened, but they have a long history of suffering those indignities. They have a long hit, whether it's through their parents, the way they were raised. They grow up in unhealthy situations and are taught that relationships, the structure of relationships in and of themselves, can be unhappy, right? And can be disastrous. And I think that that's a fair criticism. I think that's a fair point. Where if you grow up in a situation and you never learn to value yourself, you never learned what a healthy relationship looks like, it's hard for you to recognize that you aren't in a healthy relationship or that you're in a shit relationship, because to you this is how relationships work. This is something that I did talk about before when I said that the normalizing effect that parents have with their kids, like things that you do or things that you endure or things that you tolerate are things that you're teaching your kids, whether you sit them down and say, look, you know, when your daddy leave the house, yeah, I bring Mr. John over and we go wrestle in the bedroom for about 2 hours before your daddy come home. You know, uh, or you tell your little junior or little crumb crusher, sit on the couch, watch some TV, and I'm gonna go into the room with Mr. John after dad comes. If the little boy or little girl sit there and watch men come in and out of the house all day, that's how he thinks life is supposed to go. That's how he think relationships work, right? So when he gets into a relationship that mirrors that relationship, it's not that he's doing something he thinks is unnatural or out of pace. He's doing what he was taught to do. So like same. If you grow up in a relationship where you are demeaned, you're degraded, like a situation of degradation, or they dismiss you or they teach you not to value yourself because they're trying to maintain order or whatever. I'm your mama, I'm your daddy, you're going to do what I say and you're going to follow my instructions, and I raise you a certain way. Then you can't expect them to do something different. I think when they get into a relationship, they won't recognize the red flags. I think that that's valid. I think that that's a good point. She went on to also talk about how, like, I'm specifically talking to women, but she was saying that, a lot of it starts with men, and men have to call other men out. And here's the thing. I think that we have to do, in order to truly tackle this problem, we have to attack it on all fronts, right? As a guy, a good guy, a good guy with a conscience, it's not enough for me to attack other people. We have to get into their space. That's why I talk shit about the manosphere people all the time. And I bring those guys up. They talk about how ridiculous that is in their approach, how Cody's approach is. That's why I take the responsibility, or I've often said that how Cody approaches these relationships is more on Cody, and it's not as heavy on Robin as it is on Cody. Cody's primarily responsible for the breakdown of his family, and Robin was the secondary tool in that breakdown. Yeah, she did it for her own reasons and she got some benefit from it. But at the end of the day, none of what Robin wanted to do is possible without Cody's permission, express permission, or his implied permission. So he allowed it to happen or he facilitated it happening. So I think that it's fair to say that we have to start, as men, we have to start calling each other out. But at the same time, this is also part of the reason why I started the channel. And this is what we're battling against. So when we talk about these things, or I talk about these things, it's not just about information being like, ladies, you got to watch out, but we also got to attack the institutions. We also got to, it's not just men checking men, or me trying to tell women, this is what you got to look out for. I could have told her, like, look, you talk to these type of dudes and they do get kind of this, and these are some of the flags you look for. That's one message. Me talking to the dude about, like, this is how you conduct yourself around women. If a woman don't want to go, if she want to go home with you, cool. If she don't want to go home with you, that's her business. But you don't get to force nobody. You damn sure not gonna force nobody with me standing there. But that's another thing. The fact that the shit happened in a room full of people, and half the people, like, I disconnected from a lot of people. I lost a lot of friends that day. Not friends, but people I used to associate with. I lost a lot of people. I cut a lot of people off that day. And, James, you had the people that you would sit with in the cafeteria or whatever. Yeah, y'all can miss me with that shit. Because y'all ain't had nothing to say. And I'm not going to associate with people like y'all. So I cut a lot of people off that day. But the whole thing is that, it's not just about, being violent or jumping on people or whatever the case may be. Makes for a cool story now. It was scary as shit at the time. But it's about recognizing these issues and having a conversation. That's part of the reason why I started the channel. Letting people know that what you see on TV, this shit is not normal. This is not okay. This is not what you should be doing. You don't deserve to be treated this way. And just getting that message out and then reinforcing that message. Because in some cases, some people have never heard that. You understand? And I'm cognizant of that too. There are people who, like, we'll sit here and be like, I don't understand why Mary, Christine, and Janelle stayed so long. There are women who don't know that you can leave. They don't know that they should have certain expectations. They are permitted to have certain expectations of their husbands and of their partners. It's not okay that their partner is the only one who has expectations of their behavior. They too can have expectations. And I think that that's part of it. So I think that if we're going to really address these issues, they have to be addressed on a multi-front scale. It can't just be, I want to only talk to women. Ladies, this is how you protect yourself. Don't let guys treat you this way. That's one front. Another front is, fellas, don't treat women this way. You got a mama, you got a sister, one day you may have a daughter. And would you appreciate if somebody did your family the way you trying to do this person? Or just on a level of character? What kind of person do you want to be? When you take your last breath and you lay down in that eternal dirt nap, and people tell tales of your life and who you were, what song do you want them to sing? All that, you just want to remember me for the worst thing I did. I'm more than that. Yeah, maybe. But what you did was pretty bad. But even on the next step, we have to attack these institutions like polygamous organizations or institutions that foster relationships where women, in order for them to exist in these relationships, have to diminish themselves, have to suffer indignities, have to ask for permission to leave. Don't feel like they have the autonomy to be able to pack bags, tell a dude or the family or whoever who's mistreating them that they can kick rocks and step on, kiss my ass and keep on walking. We have to attack it on multi-level. So I don't want people to feel like I'm picking on women and trying to victim blame in these situations. But I think that it starts with like a level of self-defense and self-awareness and recognizing that you don't have to put up with this and recognizing that there is something wrong, encouraging people to listen to themselves. This is one of the things I talked about during the McKelty interview. The ability for you to recognize, listen to your instincts, listen to your feelings. If it doesn't feel right, explore that. You have every right to explore those feelings. In addition to the fact, calling wrong from wrong and calling balls and strikes in these situations. Let me check into the chat. I've been rambling for a little bit. People are like, hey, shut up, James. Yeah, I just think that's I definitely understand where she was coming from, because I do think that is a big problem. And that's why I'm a big proponent of, if you can't, and this is also one of the things too. Sometimes you can touch people by how you raise your kids, but you can also touch people by trying to be an example and showing people what is possible. So if you can live a good life and try to show folks the life that you're living and how you're doing things and have that open conversation, have that open dialogue, sometimes you may be able to touch people who might not live under your roof but are paying attention to your thing, and they can see that there's an alternative out there to the life and the home life that they have at the house and the way they were brought up. And that's why I'm so adamant about, like, when we have these conversations, I try to expand it past just like what Christine, Mary, or Janelle should do, or what how Cody can what he should be doing, or better ways for him to conduct himself. I think that it's important for us to expand those conversations, because it's easy to see somebody, what is it? Like you notice the speck of dust in my eye, but ignore the plank in your own. Like I think it's easy to see other people's problems, but when we take those lessons that we can learn from other people in those situations and apply it to ourselves, like I fully agree with what D was saying. Like I think that D is 100% right, and I'll even go as far as to say my intention is never to make people feel bad about their situations or feel like you deserve it or feel like it's easy. One of the things and this is one of the things that I was saying about Christine and our celebration of Christine, Mary, and Janelle leaving. Like, we can celebrate them leaving, celebrate their struggles, celebrate their victories. They decided to get out. But at the same time, I also want to acknowledge that that is not the case in most of these situations. Most of the women who are in these types of situations, whether in plural marriages or not, when they decide to leave, they're not leaving with a house in their name. They're not leaving with $300,000-$400,000 in the bank. They leaving with the clothes on their back, maybe. They're leaving maybe with a toothbrush, possibly. They're leaving with debt and financial issues. And they have to find the courage to be able to walk out. It's not easy. And that's one of the things that, I don't ever want to make it seem like it's an easy thing, for you to be able to make these choices or these decisions, because I don't want to diminish that either. It's very difficult for people to decide because change is hard. And for you to change your entire life it may seem impossible. But I just want to be a voice that says it's possible. So just wanted to touch that. But thank you so much, D. I appreciate your message. It was an excellent message, by the way. Excellent message. And it was definitely well received. Thank you. Next up, we got Rose.
Hi, James and everybody. Happy New Year. This is just my opinion on Ron. A lot of people think he is gay, which would be fine, but I don't think he is. I have a feeling he might be her friend with benefits. I am just guessing this because I had a friend with benefits that is exactly like him. Standoffish. He
All right,
still
Rose.
cares for her very much, but the affection in public isn't there. And they're very good friends. My friend with benefits that I had on and off for 10 years was a wonderful friend. And but he didn't want anything else at that moment. So I think that's what's going on with those two. I just hope she knows about it. But I know he cares about her. You can tell he wouldn't go to those things otherwise. But that's what I think. I think they're just really good friends right now and having a roll once in a while. And they're just enjoying their time together. That's my guess. Thanks. Bye.
Fair play, Rose. Fair play. Fair play. Rose, like, look, sometimes you just woman got needs. Like, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have an issue with it. I don't have an issue with it. Right. My thing is, if you like it, I love it. If as long as my basic two requirements, basic two requirements is one, everybody is being honest with themselves, which gives them the ability to make their own choices as to what they want to do. Like, you're not, as long as you're not lying to them, yeah, girl, this is a love thing and I want to be with you forever. And you going to change, I'm going to change your world, girl. I'm going to elevate you, girl, and all that bullshit. And you know full well that you just plan on doing what you do and then you plan on rolling out. You're an asshole at that point. But if you are honest and you're honest with yourself, look, I'm not really looking for a relationship. I want the benefits or perks of maybe once in a while we have a physical experience, but I don't want the responsibilities of being in a relationship with you. Like, I don't want to, have the responsibilities of that level of relationship. If you're honest with that and they're honest with themselves and they accept that, it's all good. It is what it is. I think the challenge that you may face realistically, and I'm gonna be very blunt with this, the challenge you face with that is some people, they get the honest assertion, this is a friends with benefits situation. The other person says, I'm cool with it. Cool. I can do this. And it turns out they can't do it or get good to them. And all of a sudden they don't want to do it no more. And that creates a problem. So you have to be honest with yourself and you have to be honest with others. Two, leave the babies out of it. That's my other big thing. Like, kids can't make choices. So that, so very clear. But other than that, do you, boo-boo. If you're an adult and this is the relationship that you choose to have, that's your business. And if Mary's in a relationship with this guy and he's meeting her needs and she's meeting his needs, who am I to criticize what they got going on? Get you, Mary. It's been a long time since you messing around with Cody. You haven't been, doing the thing that you want to do. You spent a lot of years, prime years, on the shelf. So if she want to go out and do her thing, go ahead, Mary. I'm not mad at it. And that could be it. Maybe, he's not trying to show physical attraction and physical connection to her because, one, he doesn't have the emotional connection, but two, if it is a friends with benefit situation, he doesn't get any benefit by advertising that he's physically with Mary. And people who are in those situations, like, technically he's still single, so you don't want that on TV. There's also another component, kind of like Taraji P. Henson. She's a famous actress. She's well known. She'll say, look, I'll be in a relationship with people all day. We could be doing all kinds of stuff, but you will never walk down a red carpet with me until you put a ring on my finger. You're not going to be on the cover of magazines with me or newspapers or whatever, or on a red carpet getting our picture taken until I have a ring on my finger, because we're not doing that, because when I do get married or I do settle down, nobody's going to ever be able to throw that picture up in my husband's face and say, remember when she was with this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, you know what I mean? Or even one guy, it doesn't matter. But she was very adamant about saying that, like, I'm not going to publicize that I'm with this person, which I can also understand because that could reduce your ability to meet the people whom you're going to meet, who could potentially be your soulmate. Because if I see you on the cover of a magazine and you hugged up, bugged up, and slobbing down some dude, I'm not going to be like, oh, she's available. Like, oh, you with Joe Blow, And there's also that point too. I think that, that quiet is kept. I think that's why, we're some folks had kind of speculated that Robin was looking for a way out and she's looking to get back to another, even back in the AUB or, find a high level man in the AUB. If that's the case, you don't want to have a whole lot of videotape of you getting slobbed down by somebody, even your husband. You don't want to have video evidence because, let's be honest, you may mentally understand that she was married to a dude, but there's a difference between you mentally understanding that she might have had intimate times with her husband versus you seeing a videotape of them in the boudoir getting a freakadeek, flipping. You understand what I mean? Smack it up, flip it, rub it down. She come out in a nurse's outfit, and my man got a biker costume on. Because they're all confused. They can't even get their fantasies together. I'm an alien. I'm a lawyer. You know what I mean? What are we doing? But there's a difference between you knowing that she's been active. It's another thing to watch her be active with somebody else. And especially in some of these more prudish societies, kissing, hugging, deep face kissing, tongue kissing, where you all up and down their mouth and shit. Like, that's a lot for some of these people, and they won't tolerate it. So that could be why Robin spends so much time pushing Cody off too. You see the exact opposite. I used to say that about there was a woman named Jasmine who was married to a guy named Gino on 90 Day Fiance, and she had my man was out there walking around in sandals all day, and she get back into the tent because they were camping, and she was like, I want to suck on your toes because I love sucking on toes. And she was sucking on his toes, and I'm like, this is an advertisement. She's advertising. She's putting it out there what she like doing, like, and she ain't talking about sucking on toes. So I mean, it goes both ways. It goes both ways because what you fishing for might change the kind of bait you use. I'm just saying. So, but thank you so much, Rose. Rose has another one.
Hi, James. This is Rose again from the Great White North. I forgot to say in my last message that Mary did say that they were just friends. She never did say they were partners or boyfriend and girlfriend. She said they were friends, just hanging out and seeing how it goes. And they're both dating other people. Well, they're both, at least she's been still going to these dating events, and I'm sure he is too. So I think they're just, like I said before, friends with benefits. They're hanging out, and if something happens, it happens. But that's what I think. I think they're just enjoying each other's company. And whether he told her that's what he wanted, that's a different story. I know mine told me right away, right at the beginning, that that's the way it was going to be. So I'm not sure about that part. She seems to really like him, but I just hope she has her guard up. Thank you. Bye.
No, I think that's a fair assessment, especially if it's early in your relationship. You might not want to be locked down to a dude, especially if you. And here's a weird, tricky thing too, because when you're dating, there isn't a commitment present. So technically, you still can go out on dates with other people. And what happens if you're on a date with a person that you're kind of attracted to, but then you meet your person, but you don't know yet for sure that that's your person, and you have video images of the time when you met them and you were dating, right? The love of your life, and that time overlapped with the time that you were casually dating somebody else, but they got video you tonguing this dude down and clawing and pawing each other. That could create problems in your love affair relationship too. Like, whoa, we started dating in January. This was in March that you was on the trail with him playing nature games. Now all of a sudden, I'm about to propose to you, and the season dropped, and I see that, but I mean, it was like a week later, I realized that I was in love with you and I wanted to spend my life with you. And that had just happened, and we weren't even really dating seriously at that time. Some people don't care. Let's be honest. Like this sound, it's not to be like, Janelle with the whole I am logical. That's not logical for you to be mad about that situation. But that doesn't mean people ain't gonna be mad and break up with your ass because the overlap was too in their face. So I think Rose makes good points. Next up. Oh, let me go. I'll do the super chats real quick. Sorry, guys. We had Annie Banani with the $10 super chat. Janelle and Cody trying to get married on Mary's birthday still pisses me off. Janelle got upset about Mary and Cody being affectionate and had her mom talk to Cody like what? Janelle looking like she was the first Robin. You know what? I almost say it's kind of, not to be an asshole, but I've been growing a long time. And I couldn't imagine somebody going back and telling my parents because they don't like what I'm doing. I'm going to tell your mama. I'm going to tell your daddy. I'm going to tell your parents. You know what I mean? What do you think they're going to do? What? And your mom come and talk to me about me screwing my wife? What? No disrespect, but that's none of your business. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They wild, boy. They wild in this community. I went to my mom. My mom gonna pull you up. Girl, before you know what I mean, it's one of them things like, bruh, before your dad come and try to talk to me, please understand that's your dad. Yeah, I mean, he is not my father. My father's name is Jim, and that ain't him, Slim. So I don't know what you plan on. I don't know what you think is gonna happen. I mean, I'll listen, be respectful, but I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing, especially if I'm not doing anything wrong. Mary, technically, she's screwing her husband. It's not like she's screwing Janelle's husband. And if anything, do you really want to open this can of worms? Because could you imagine if you marry and Janelle's mom come to you and be like, yeah, you guys are, Janelle feels uncomfortable because you guys have been super affectionate. Well, I feel uncomfortable that Janelle was married to my brother. Now she's fucking my husband. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Let me go ahead and get out of here. I feel uncomfortable. How about that? You know what I mean? Do you really want to have that conversation? Do you want to open that can of worms? That's what I'm saying. Like, girl, you just gonna have to take that. You got to take that on the chin. Like, yeah, she's clawing them and pawing them. She's trying to keep you off of them. That's what it is. She don't like to share. She grew up selfish. She don't want to share. Most people are selfish when it comes to their relationships. And that's a hard starter. Like you guys were doing a polygamy starter pack. And all of a sudden you jumped to like advanced. You know what I mean? I'm gonna marry my wife's sister-in-law, ex-sister-in-law. That's advanced. You should have, start with a childhood friend or something. I don't know, bro. That's crazy. But thank you so much, Annie Banani. That's nuts. I'm gonna tell my mama. Don't tell your mama. Julianne Kinkle in the house with the $4.99 super chat. Shocked that Janelle didn't call in ahead for an easy chair for Cody to recline in while he love bombed her. Janelle gushing all over. I know, could you make sure you have, well, because if you got that easy chair, some things might have jumped off. Maybe that's their secret, they secret code. Like he put them legs up, boy, it's on and popping. He was like, put your seatbelts on for love. You know what I mean? Make sure your trays are in the upright position. Release your seatbelts and recline and prepare for the tunnel of love. No, that was kind of that was super nasty, but you understand what I'm saying. I'm surprised. You know what? It's awesome that people are already saying like Janelle was feeling the flow when Cody showed up to the restaurant. He was talking that good shit to her. Could you imagine? He met with Christine and David at a hotel. Could you imagine the stories that would be ripping off if he would have met her at a hotel restaurant? Like, they got rooms booked. Girl, why don't we just take this on upstairs? We can have dessert. We can have some room service deliver some dessert, or not. Yeah, or not. And she be like, I'm gonna tear you apart, Cody. He was like, that's why I drove over here. Tear away. Thank you so much, Julianne Kinkle. You're like, uh-oh. They meet at the hotel motel. What? Hotel motel. If you don't tell, I won't tell. That's how you know it's on and popping. Next up, we got Margarita in the house.
Hi, James. My name is Margarita, and this is my first time contributing through SpeakPipe. I've been watching videos for a while and left a comment or two on videos you've created. And I just want to say thank you for creating this channel, and also that it's really inspiring to see the way community members care for each other, because, we're all healing from something. No family is perfect. And that community spirit is in such sharp contrast to Cody Brown. In my opinion, Cody Brown is a foolish man who built his house on the sand. His greatest fear, as stated, is being poor. And whether or not that is a genuine belief or not, it's such a stupid thing for a grown man to say. In my opinion, this is already a self-fulfilled prophecy. which will be fully actualized because of his demonstrated inability to learn, self-reflect, and correct course despite decades of opportunities to do so. As James has said, real wealth in life, the kind that brings out fulfillment, is not about how much money you have in your account or how big your house is. The things that matter most in life require grit and humility, curiosity, and the ability to self-reflect, and they require emotional maturity and a well-grounded moral compass. In my opinion, while this man has been building his sandcastle because he's so scared of being financially poor, he's neglected the one thing that adds any lasting value to his existence, which is his children.
Mm, okay. All right, Margarita. Okay. I agree. I think that the idea of priorities, you know, what is it, the old uh Les Brown, you never seen uh a hearse driving to the cemetery with carrying a U-Haul. Like, you can't take it with you. So as much as you may pursue earthly or worldly things, as hard as you may pursue those things, at the end of the day, those things remain and you go. And the only thing you get to really leave is the impression that you know, put on people. And so is the question is your impression indelible? Is it something that can't be removed? Is something long lasting? Is it something that can be carried on? The principles and ideas and ideals that you hold valuable, that you've hopefully instilled into the next generation, is that something that will be carried on? So even long after they forgot your name or maybe forgot what you look like, they still carry a piece of you because they carry, your values? Or do you think that you're going to leave somebody some fold up, some of that money, and that's what they're going to remember? I remember years ago, my parents, my mom and dad had retired early on. And I remember my mom was, debating whether she should do some stuff. Like she was like, "Oh, I don't know. We were thinking about going on a trip, and I don't know. I don't want to spend the money." And I remember talking to my parents, sitting them down and talking to them like, "Look, when push them down to shove, you guys need to spend your time and the money that you've earned over the course of your life. Enjoy yourselves with it, and take that time, that money, enjoy yourselves with it. Go out, experience each other. Go out and spend time with one another. Have those experiences." And I'm glad I said that because she wound up passing away. But my dad's still here. But he has to live his life without her. But it's the idea that all you're going to do, and I told her this frankly, I was like, all that's going to happen is you're going to leave the money to me, and I'm going to take the money and go on the trip with it. You know what I mean? I'm going to buy myself stuff. You know what I mean? So you're not, you are denying yourself something to give to me when you've already given me all that I need from you. You know what I mean? You've given me more than I can ever ask anybody to give me. The things you've given me are already invaluable. So if you have some advantage, you have some money, you have something that you can do to enhance your life, you owe it to yourself to experience that for yourself. You don't owe me that. You know what I mean? And it would, and I would prefer that you take that money, or the things, the twos and fews you have, or the money that you have, and you guys enjoy each other, because you spent your life, a good portion of your life, catering to me and my brother, taking care of us, making sure we have everything we need. We're adults now. We doing it for ourselves. We got our own family. You know what I mean? You got to be able to experience you. So take that money and experience yourself. And I think that's not something that I just came up with. That's something that they've imparted to me. And that comes from a generation, like generation after generation, of how my family has tried to view money, wealth, finances, and monetary gain. I'm not a rich man by any means, but not even close. But it's just that, you put things in a perspective of what's important and what's not. You know, what is it? What good does it do a man to gain the world if he loses his soul in the process? What good is it for me to have everything, all my financial needs met, but I'm not a person that can look itself in the mirror at the end of the day? You know, like some things are more important to me. Or if I have a big, beautiful house and a big, beautiful lifestyle and all the money I can spend, but I eat alone. I don't have any friends. I don't have any family. Nobody to spend time with. I can't talk to anybody. The only people I can have a conversation with are the people I pay. To me, that's a horrible existence. To be in a relationship with a woman and you're afraid that if you lose your job or you lose your money, that she might leave you. That's terrible to me. So I think that when we talk about like Cody, the things that are important to him, you know, I get it. I said before, I'm a rich man living a poor man's life. You know what I'm saying? I'm a rich man living a poor man's life. Shit. You know what I mean? I know it'd be poor problems look like. I want to try some of them rich ones. They say more money, more problems. I want to try some of them problems. You know what I'm saying? Because them problems don't involve you trying to figure out how to pay your bills. You know, and they are separate problems. They do have different issues. But at the end of the day, if you spend so much of your time, energy, and effort chasing that dollar, at the end of when you leave this earth, nobody has ever been surrounded by, getting ready to kick off. And they're like, oh, there's all my money piled up in the corner so I can look at it. Because here's the thing, even if you pile that money up in the corner, that money ain't going to cry when you gone. That money ain't going to be sad when you leave. Then if you pile all that money in your room, all that's going to happen is them relatives and kids and shit you've been ignoring, they just going to come in there and take that money anyway. So it's all about like what you prioritize, I think. Put all my money in the corner. Do you want to be surrounded by your loved ones and your family and your friends, or do you want to be surrounded by a bunch of money? The Egyptians tried that shit, and you see what happened. And all that happened was people wound up trying to dig their asses up. And nobody ever dug up Tutankhamun, King Tut, or anybody else, and be like, we found the temple of Xerxes. He was such a wonderful man. All they care about is the gold his ass is sitting on. I mean, if they're like, oh, there's a skeleton, and there's a pile of gold. You can only take one because it's the Temple of Doom. They taking the gold out of there. They don't care what happened to that skeleton. kick that skeleton head right off the, kick that skull. Touchdown. Just saying. But that's a good point. Let's go to Margarita too.
Margarita, again, just continuing the message. I think Cody should have been anchoring his life to the nurturing of the relationships with those who loved him the most and those he should have loved, not trampling on others to gain financial wealth. I believe his statement was true. I think he chose wealth as a core value, pursuing that against all other things. And if seen through that lens, it makes sense that he would go on an interview and say that what he said on Special Forces regarding his children wasn't really what he meant. He's decided that wealth is what's important based on the choices he's made on the show and outside of filming. What I can't get out of my mind is how his statements made in and outside the show land with his children. Imagine being Logan and putting out a statement on social media in support of Cody, and for Cody to turn around and say that in essence he didn't really mean that the broken relationships are his responsibility. Imagine holding out hope that Cody will get it and learn to love his children, and for that to be proven something he's incapable of choosing. The OG-13 are amazing humans, and they deserved a devoted, considerate, and present father. Not because of anything they've accomplished, but for simply being who they are. Cody, you are a poor man, a poor, foolish man who has squandered one of the greatest gifts a person can have, the love of your children.
All right. Margarita. Let's go. She on a roll. Let's go 3.
Hi, James. It's Margarita again. I was just listening to Linda on the callback show from this week where she went off on TLC, and I concur. I think that the way that TLC edits these episodes, and particularly in the past, uh, the talk back kind of things, like the couch interviews that they do with them, how they are just piecemeal, and they'll give they'll edit part of each interview together, and it's so hard to follow. It's so Cody-esque in the way that he draws in topics into conversation that have nothing to do with the point of the conversation, all in an effort to manipulate and steer things to his advantage. It is exactly kind of like how TLC is doing things. And in my opinion, it is so disrespectful of its audience. The manipulation of timelines, the making it seem like something is something that isn't. And that's one of the reasons I stopped watching. I keep coming back to your channel because it's actually helpful and entertaining. Um, but the show itself, yeah, I haven't been watching this season. I don't intend to watch this nonsense anymore because it is truly disrespectful to its audience.
Okay. And I don't disagree. I think that they're at a point now where they're at a crossroads at TLC where they have to decide whether they're going to respect the audience by giving authentic stories, and if they can't deliver those stories, have integrity and cancel the show, or they just try to squeeze it for as much as they can by simply saying that, well, we run a Sunday show, people show up for that Sunday show, and it doesn't matter what we put on, so we're just going to keep putting on the bullshit. So I think that that's a fair assessment. I think that that's extremely fair. It's fair and generous. But excellent job, Margarita. Wow. Okay, Margarita. Margarita came and brought the heat. And she's like, I'm not playing around. That ass. Let's go with Daisy.
Yo, James, some people want to fucking wonder why I don't trust Janelle. Did you see how she fucking sat in Mary's fucking face and said and acted like the apology that Cody gave her wasn't shit? And I was just like, whatever. And like all nonchalant, honey, no. Your eyes lit up. You said, do you? When he said, I'm apologizing that I never loved you and woody woo. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
You know what? Daisy, she's my wife's spirit partner, because that's exactly it. I've heard that before. I've heard that. My wife literally said, maybe not the exact same way, but she definitely said the same sentiment. Like, this is crazy that, on one hand she gushing over Cody. Next hand she like, oh yeah, it wasn't no big deal. I just did what I had to do. Blah, blah, blah. And she was, and kind of like Megatron, my wife was going in on going, not necessarily going in on Janelle, but she was like, this is ridiculous because there's not authenticity in the way you are. Like, you're not keeping that same energy. So they like she's a big proponent of, and I'm in that same school where I'm a big proponent of consistency. If you're an asshole, be a consistent asshole. If you're a nice person, be a consistent nice person. But don't sit there and be an asshole who's trying to be nice, or a nice guy who's trying to be an asshole to some people. Just be who you are. And if you like Cody and you want him, it's okay. Everybody don't have to like who you like or want what you want. But don't pretend like, oh yeah, I mean, he came in with this bull stuff talking about he's sorry. He really loved me. And I was like, what? You know what I mean? You was, you was soaking that seat when he said, I always loved you. Oh, really? Oh God. Oh wow. Okay. I mean, it is what it is. I can't tell you not to be in love with that man. Who am I? I mean, I'd be like, don't do it, but nobody listens to me. Nobody listens to me. Don't do it. Just say no. And I think that that's what's wearing on people. Like, even with Megatron, like, because I know folks like, wow, Megatron going so hard in the paint for Janelle, but it's just the hypocrisy of it. Like, I think people just don't like the duality of 1 minute you cool with him, next minute you not. 1 minute you on his team, next minute you not. 1 minute you don't like him and he's the villain. Next minute, oh, he's not so bad. He's a great man. Like, they just want that consistency. I think there was another Daisy Rez. Hold on 1 second. Let me just check something real quick. So I think I'm missing one. I want to give everybody they fair due. One. No, I only had one. Okay. I thought I had two. All right. So we had Daisy, keeping it a buck. Next up we got Sam.
Hi, James. This is Sam. And I think season 21 should be 5, possibly 6 episodes. The first 5 episodes is each adult gets an episode where they choose their favorite scenes from the show, tell them why it's their favorite, and then give a update on where they are now. For Janelle, she might show her new house. For Mary, if the renovations are done, show those. And then the 6th episode is, if they were willing, all sitting down together and going over any of the scenes that they all had in common, and just kind of talking about their experience and saying goodbye to the fans. And I think that's what the season 21 should be, because they're not doing anything now. They're all just sitting there talking to the camera and doing staged performances. So the show is done. Let's just give it a real quick wrap up, a final goodbye for the fans, and let it be.
I think that's a fair assessment, and that actually would be a good idea. TLC greedy, so I don't see them doing that. But I think that would be a nice little wrap up for the fans, and maybe do like a little in memoriam for Garrison, the people you lost, that kind of thing. I think that would be nice. And maybe even talk about like what their plans are. But yeah, they're gonna ride this bad boy. As long as people tuning in, they will ride it till the wheels fall off for sure. We had Lizzie B. She gifted One My Take on Reality membership. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. She's one of the Mega Mod squad in the house, holding things down for the team. And she's making sure she's keeping the party going by donating One My Take on Reality membership. So let's give a round of applause for Lizzie B. Thank you. And for those who don't know, we run a Saturday roundtable where members can call in. It's a members roundtable. Call in, and we run a panel of 10 people. We have a conversation which includes sister wives or anything we kind of go where the conversation leads us. So it's an open conversation. But thank you so much, Lizzie B. I appreciate you. Next up, we have Mary.
Hey James, this is Mary. Hey, I wanted to talk about Janelle and kind of the reasons that she may have left those 2 or 3 times, and more in the vein of when you leave a man and go back 2 or 3 times, I just think that she is setting up really bad trust issues with Cody, because Cody then can't trust that she's going to stay. But I think more in Cody's languages, he's always been going after something he can't have, or maybe just a little bit out of his reach. So maybe that conquest with Janelle was, his ego boost every time she came back. I just don't think if Janelle ever dates again, if she leaves a man, I'm just hoping that she doesn't go back, that she has enough integrity and stance for the reason that she left to not go back. So just let me know what you think.
Well, I think that that actually is one of my big things. Like, if you leave a relationship, understand you guys broke up for a reason. I don't break up frivolously. I don't just break up with people because we have a disagreement. We can't see eye to eye, so I'm out of here. I'm very specific and directed in discontinuing relationships, because when I discontinue a relationship, my intention is not to come back. Right? I don't leave a relationship like, well, when you call me when you ready to talk. Like, no. If it's like that, I'll leave on you call me when you're ready to talk, and we'll talk. But if I say we no longer have a relationship and the relationship is done, then typically the relationship is done. And it's done that way for a couple reasons. One, if you break up with people and you take them back and you break up and you take them back, you're getting them used to the idea or notion that you're disposable and that you're reusable. So I can throw you away, recycle you, and use you again. So you can come back. Two, you put them in a mindset to where your words of and threat or consequence of you leaving doesn't really mean anything to them. Three, if you come back and the issues aren't resolved or whatever reason you left isn't resolved, either one, that reason isn't important, or two, you don't give a shit. It's not, you know what I mean? Like you don't care. It was no reason at all that you left, or you realize you were wrong, or two, whatever I did is okay. So it's about like, tone setting or whatever too, I think is a big thing. But let's go to Mary too.
Hey, James, I just want to talk about the whole where Cody's not allowing women to talk. And I think this relates what was going on with the Mary conversation, which also relates with the Janelle confusion when Cody was saying that the boys had to apologize or they didn't. So, as the conversation progresses with Mary, she says at one point, so I can't say anything or I can't talk. I mean, can we have a conversation? And he says then, oh, yes, please do talk. So then Mary starts talking and all he does is shut her up and trying to shut her down by talking over her. So again, this, no, you can't talk. Yes, you can talk. No, you can't talk. Language is the exact same thing he did with Janelle. I mean, at one point the boys had to apologize. The next second they didn't have to apologize. And then the next second they did have to apologize because I don't know if his brain is that scrambled or what is going on. Either the person can talk or they can't talk. He needs an apology or he doesn't need an apology. And I think what he states the first time is probably what he really wants. But this scrambling is just what a mess in his head. Well, anyway, James, let me know what you think.
All right. I think that that's actually just the way he does the relationship. So you're allowed to talk as long as you don't talk against me or you disagree with me. You're allowed to speak your mind as long as it's commiserate with what I'm saying. So if it's in agreement with what I'm talking about, you can say what you like. But if you disagree with me, shut the hell up. Right. And it's also a way for him to not only control, by trying to control the conversation, you're trying to control thought. And by controlling thought, you're trying to control that individual. And so I think the way we're seeing in real time is a power dynamic. And one of the things that kind of trips me out, and I have to do that video where I'm talking about like the effects of the apology tour and what it actually means, and talking about the power dynamics within that conversation, because there's ways in which he demonstrated power dynamics throughout that conversation. And unironically, even back to what Dee was saying previously, you fall back into the places that you were raised up in or you are conditioned to be in. So when I watch the conversations between the three wives, with the exception of Mary, in most cases, they all kind of, even with Mary a little bit, they all kind of fell back into the person that they used to be, not the people that they are. Like they go off and they have like these relationships and they've expanded themselves. And the moment they walk back in a room with Cody, all of a sudden they're right back at, in Lehigh, Utah, a sister wife again, and they're playing that role. And I think that that's also one of the challenges in you seeking this kind of closure or whatever. Like that's why I'm not a big fan of these types of closure things. You have to find closure within yourself. You have to find a way for you to be able to get through it and deal with the situation. Because you're in so many cases, you're not going to get the thing that you need from the person that you need it from. They're not, because what you may need from them is for them to admit their fault, be accountable for their actions or whatever, which they might not feel that they either owe you or that they did anything wrong. So they're never going to come out and be like, I messed that relationship up because you was awesome. You were amazing. You were beautiful. You were intelligent. You had this spirit and this light in you. And I just couldn't handle it because I was a jealous ass little man and I couldn't deal with it. Like, you're not going to hear that from him. What you're going to hear is you were selfish and you decided to leave me because you were not loyal. You know what I'm saying? So he's not going to give you the thing that you need. And it's more likely that he's going to do the thing because he still sees you. When Cody sits down, he still sees Christine the way he saw Christine when she walked out the door. He doesn't see Christine, the new wife, the new independent woman, the woman who's been separated from him and gone through things and worked on herself to get through the division and separation that she's had with him. He doesn't see that person. He sees the person that he used to be able to walk all over, talk all over, and mistreat. And that's how he's going to treat you. And that's why I say that these relationships need to have like that hard reset. You know what I mean? They need to have that hard reset. So, and that reset is basically, I'm not that person anymore. You're not going to talk to me crazy. But again, his big pushback is, yeah, you can say what you want, but just don't say nothing that makes me look bad, makes me feel bad, or disagrees with in general with anything I'm trying to do. Or you try to take it away from the mission that I'm on, which is basically to come here and monologue so I can say I said the words to the audience when they criticize me for stuff I've done or stuff I've said. I said the words. I said I was sorry. Damn, get over it. That's what he wants. Then by them saying, let's talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to say the words. Stop it. You know. But Mary 3.
Hey, James. This is about Miss Robham. So I have a theory on why she doesn't really have friends or family on air. And my real reason I believe is she doesn't is because I think those friends are going to sit around, or those family members are going to sit around and be like how Mary's friends are about Cody, how Christine and Janelle were kind of digging on him here and there. But it's not like they weren't talking truth. But, Janelle joke about the can you bring me a whole lemon so I can cut it up for my water. I just think the reason that Robin doesn't have her friends on is because they're going to sit around and do the same as all the others, and she's just not going to do that. So, or either she doesn't have any friends. I don't know which one it is, but let me know what you think.
Well, I think that there's a couple things. I think one, she has to be careful about having her friends on because that would reveal that she's actually talking about her relationships outside of her relationships, which is a major criticism that she's leveled against the wives. And even now she's trying to cover by saying, I never talked to Cody about any of the wives until now because Cody tells me stuff now, but he wasn't telling me stuff then, which didn't make sense. And she even proved that that wasn't the case, but that's the story she kept. If she talks to her friends and those friends come back and talk shit about Cody or talk bad about Cody, or even worse, in this perspective, do the opposite and sing Cody's praises. If and when she breaks up with Cody, who will she talk to? Because what I was saying about Ron and Mary, you don't want to be on camera slobbing some dude down, and that's not your prospective husband, right? You don't want to be on TV saying that he's a good, great man and he's so awesome and so understanding. And you're sitting there talking to your friends about how wonderful he is. And then you wind up breaking up with him because that cuts off your ability to bring those same friends on and talk about what a shitty person he is and what an awful man he is and what a terrible father he is. And girl, you could do and here's the manipulative part about what we had talked about earlier about you growing up and growing up in a certain type of household. And if you're going to manipulate that situation, because that is a real thing, and manipulative people use real things that happen to people as a springboard because it doesn't really affect them. It hasn't happened to them, so they don't really carry any weight to it and they're not bound to it. So she could have her friends come on and say, girl, that's just because that's the way you were raised. You were raised to trust him and you believed him and you didn't know any better. You didn't know that he was mistreating you, girl. And that's why you sat there and let him do that to you, girl. Girl, you are so beautiful. And I've been trying to tell you for years that you got to wake up, but you were so loyal to Cody that you couldn't see it. If she had her friends on, that whole line of dialogue, that whole line of relationship and fellowship, that she could put on air to bash and destroy Cody all along the way would be disabled. So if she's really, really, really slick, you keep that powder dry. You keep those conversations dry. You don't have your friends come up and say anything about Cody. Because then if you and Cody break up, you can employ those friends to come out, kind of, best friend Jen style, after you break up and talk mad shit about Cody. And when they talk mad shit about him, that Robin, the entire time we've known her, Mary hasn't done this, but Robin, the entire time we've known her, has tried to play the little innocent, naive, schoolgirl-esque type frail creature who doesn't really understand how the world works. And if you take that and you couple it with some friends who are going to tell you that, oh, girl, you just so naive, you so nice. Your problem is you too nice, you too loving, you too caring. And you are with a horrible, terrible man. And as much as we tried to warn you and tell you, you could never see it because of how wonderful you are. And that could be why she doesn't have her friends on TV. You understand what I mean? That and the fact that she probably don't want to have people up there talking too much shit about Cody because they'll get pissed. Because that's what people want to see. And they don't want to see, oh, he's such a great man. Cody's such a great man. Because that would be a question too. Robin, why haven't you had your friends on talking about how awesome Cody is and how he's the love of your life and he's a wonderful man? Because that would help him, wouldn't it? Just saying. So that's why I have the position that I have of why she might not be bringing her friends on. Because if she was all into Cody and she was really trying to support him, it wouldn't just be her talking about how great he is and how romantic he is. Just saying. Here's Megatron. There was an issue, I think, partway through some of her messages, but we'll play them.
Hey, James. Hey, my take, guys. This is Megatron. I know I've been spotty about my attendance, but y'all know I got a lot going on. Still love y'all.
Yeah.
But yes, James, I came in on the tail end of your show Tuesday to call in. I didn't get to call in because I got there late. You damn right. I'm on Janelle's ass. I'm on her neck because one thing about small town folk, we don't like it when we get made a fool of. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I know Maddie and Caleb better distance their business from her little shady ass because it's not going to prosper. Not down there with the small town folk. I'm going to tell you that right now.
All right. And I don't disagree. Like the great thing about like small towns, everybody's friendly, neighbors that like there's a connection in the town. Problem with small towns, everybody in your business. Everybody know you got something going on in a small town. Everybody know. Everybody know that Bobby Joe be creeping out of his wife's house, sliding up and through Tom's window. Everybody in town know that y'all messing around. Everybody, there ain't no secrets in small towns. You know what I mean? And when you acting shady in a small town, everybody know about it. So yeah. You can't be too greasy in a small town. Like in a big city, you barely know your neighbors. You know them. You know them when they standing on their lawn. I got a couple of neighbors like that, a few neighbors like that. And I'm personable, right? Like I know you when you stand on your lawn. I had one neighbor. They said hi to me in the supermarket. I had no idea who they were. It's like this a lady. Hey, how you doing? She didn't know my name. Hey, how you doing? I was like, hello. Way too friendly. Plus, you don't see my wife standing. You try to get us both knocked off. She don't play that shit. You better stop. But well, I was like, oh, okay. Well, okay, yeah. I talked to her. Like, oh, that's the neighbor. That's the neighbor. I didn't recognize it because she wasn't standing on her lawn. You know what I mean? In the big towns, that's how it is. Small towns, everybody know everybody. School, like my kids' high school is actually my son's high school is almost as big as my college was. So it's big. Like they have 5,000 students or something like that. Like so the high school has 4,000 students, 5,000 students. My high school had 300 in the class. Like I think we had 125 in a class, about 400 or 500 students total. Like so, no, she right. Megatron ain't tell no lies on that.
Okay, this is part two. Yes, James, I'm riding her ass like sea biscuits, all gas, no brakes. I ain't letting off. Think about the timeline. During the time of all of this backdoor deal shenanigans,
I gotta tell you, that's why I love country folk. I love Southern folks. They got I'm riding ass like sea briskets, no brakes, all gas, no brakes. I love country people. I love it. I love Southern folks. I miss my time down there. All right, back to it.
Christine was opening up her second B&B. Mary already had her B&B. Cody and Robin had the McMansion and all the little shenanigans they pulling and stunting or whatever. Her ass didn't have nothing. She's sleeping on a damn air mattress at Maddie's house. I definitely believe this motherfucker did this shit out of jealousy. Can't nobody convince me otherwise. Not Janelle.
Yeah, that's what it cut off. I told you Megatron was getting into it. Cut off. But it's an interesting take to talk about like
Out of jealousy. Out of pure jealousy. If nothing else.
is it because that is a good point. I wish I heard a whole part of it, but I mean the premise of it is she set it up. Like I didn't know she was sleeping on an air mattress at Maddie's house, but imagine you're in a situation where you're making $1 million a season, because that's around what they were supposed to be making since like I think season 17, 18. They renegotiated contracts. You're making $1 million per season, and you are sleeping on an air mattress at your daughter's house. And it seems like everybody you're supposed to be the smart business person, and everybody in your family is doing business but you. That's a hard piece. And again, like I want to hear, I'm gonna keep my powder dry on Janelle. I'm really trying to keep my powder dry on Janelle till I'm trying to give her the opportunity to retort. But folks is building the case. Megatron's building the case. Just saying. There's part 3.
Okay, my take family. We on the point 3 of why Janelle ain't shit. Janelle did this deal because look at the
Point.
timeline. Christine had just hit Cody ass with them damn child support papers. We know that was gonna be a big financial gain for Christine. Ooh, let me go ahead and make this deal because after a while, this motherfucker ain't gonna have no damn money for me to get anything out of Coyote Pass. So not only am I gonna screw Mary over, but now I'm gonna fuck with Christine child support stuff now by doing the backdoor deal. Janelle ain't shit. Now she claimed to love Christine so much, but
I tell you, the Kremlins was working overtime on Megatron's ass. They was working overtime on Megatron. Someone to hear that point. You mother sucker.
motherfucker damn.
That's rough. But that is a point because, as with any litigation, one of the factors when you go in and talk to a lawyer, it's not about like they'll listen to your case and they'll, factor in liability and things of that nature. Whether right and wrong isn't, it's only part of it. Who's going to be liable or responsible for the financial, because that's what you're talking about in civil cases, the financial fiduciary damages. And the second most important question that they ask, if I say that it's all there's an action, I can show liability for this other person. The third major question is, can they pay? Can they pay? You could be right all day. But it doesn't matter if the other person can't afford to pay you the money, right? And Megatron brings up another point. Like I said, she building a case. Megatron's building a case. If Christine is going after Cody, Janelle could see that as an affront or a betrayal, because if Christine, who has married a guy who's very financially successful and set, plus she's buying houses and she's able to she's built a house and she's buying a house, bought 2 houses and built a house for herself. Plus, I think she still had that other townhouse, if I'm not mistaken, that she bought when she first got to Utah. So she's been making moves. And all here she comes getting money off of Cody perspectively. She doesn't know whether she can get back child support or what that money is going to look like, how much she's going to get. And then you put that into the big hat trick bag of Cody recognizing who you're dealing with. Cody is not going to take a L from Christine and be sitting on top of Cowdy Pass and still be benevolent and give away ownership rights to Cowdy Pass. He's going to consolidate and then screw them over because he's not trying to miss none of his bills. He's not trying to take a L. He's not trying to take any losses. So, Megatron. Logically, Megatron is making some points. I'm just saying. Again, I'm keeping my powder dry and I'm trying to be fair, but she's making some points.
Okay, fourth and final point. But yeah, like I was saying, from what I've been listening to today, whatever, they basically got pennies for Coyote Pass. And Janelle's supposed to be this smart businesswoman. Why didn't she realize she was fucking over Christine's child support stuff when she was doing this? She knew she was fucking over Mary. She didn't give a fuck about fucking over Mary because she's been fucking with Mary since she came into this family. Let's keep it a band. You slept with your husband's sister husband, bro. That is some Jerry Springer shit. I don't give a damn how you spend it. Janelle ain't shit for real. But like I said, Christine was being affected by this because the less income Cody get, the less income Christine can get his ass for child support. And Janelle knew that Cody's ass finna run out of money. Let's hurry up and do this deal so I can get me. That's the fuck. That's some fuck shit.
Okay, Megatron. Dropping mics. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, dropping mics. I can't argue with the logic. Because truth be told, like if they did get a reduced amount, because let's be honest, if realtors talk to each other, especially inexperienced realtors, they get too friendly and get too conversational. And from the professional grade that I saw in a realtor that Cody and them presented, I could see this. Yeah. You're trying to be the salesman or whatever. Yeah, Cody and Robin, they're really motivated. I represent some motivated sellers who are trying to get rid of Cowdy Pass, and they're really trying to make the deal happen. Okay, I'll talk to my client to see if they're interested in doing an offer. I mean, they're really motivated because Janelle, she just bought 152 acres with her daughter, and she needs some money for the down payment. And Cody and Robin, they just bought a $2.1 million house. And they're trying to sell their house and they need this money because they promised this as part of the collateral on the house down payment for their mortgage or whatever, because you can't do that. And if you tell the buyer's real estate agent that, they desperate. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and knock anywhere from 10 to 20% off the asking price. Are you kidding me? Yeah, for sure. They desperate. They willing to cut a deal. They have to cut a deal. And if I'm willing to say I'll buy all 4 lots, no fuss, no muss, but you got to knock 10, 15% off of the asking price, or, you know what I mean? You taking, like Megatron said, you taking pennies on a dollar. That's kind of that's logical. That's business. That's how business works. That's why you got to be careful who you give I call it settlement authority. Who you give authority to. You give somebody authority, like this is the technique I use. Like when I was purchasing my house, I bought a couple of houses, the second and third house. When you do that deal, you get your pre-approvals, or you get your money that you plan on spending. And you know what your down payment is going to look like. You know what your price is going to look like. If you're buying a house, if you have, say, just for round numbers sake, you have $100,000 and with housing prices now, you're buying a shack, but you have $100,000 that you can get from the bank in your loan, right? And you say to your real estate agent, you don't tell him how much money do you have available, or this house costs $100,000. You don't tell your real estate agent I got authorization for $100,000. You say, I have authorization. I would like to make, I won't even say I have authorization for. I would like to make an offer for $80,000 or $90,000. Right? These are just round numbers. And then the guy says, okay, he poses that offer. And I had to let a real estate agent go because I put a number out. I say, okay, tell him this is the number. And I told my real estate agent that I have like a authorization for a different number. But I was like, I'm willing to pay this for the house. Put this bid in. He went to the damn real estate agent. That's how I'm saying. I'm speaking from personal experience. He went to the real estate agent and told that motherfucker. He said, this is what he's offering you, but I'm sure you're willing to, if you want to come up, I'm sure he's willing to, he'll meet you. No, I'm not. That's the offer. That's the offer. You tell him that's what I'm willing to pay. I'm not willing to pay what, no. You don't ever tell them what mother, look, if I said if I was willing to pay that money, I would have told him to pay. I just go ahead, just run me the whole bill. No, the offer is the offer. And you find out information, like you go in ears open, mouth closed. You try to find out as much information about the property, what's going on. That's why it's always, when you are selling a house, don't be there when the people show up, because they're probing for questions. They're trying to figure out if there's any vulnerabilities in what you're doing. So if you're talking about, yeah, we got to sell this because we're trying to move because my husband been reassigned or my wife got a new job and it's a big time job, so we got to be out of here in 2 months. So you don't have a whole lot of time to sell this house. So whatever I put in, I might be one of the only people that put the money in. And it's just a matter of how close to your number I can be that you can tolerate it and not walk out the door. And that's how you get screwed. And if that's the case, if they was telling, like, if it was known around the town that Cody bought a $2.1 million house, he just sold the McMansion, he needs to sell Coyote Pass. Janelle needed to, she just bought 152 acres down in North Carolina with her daughter, and they need that money for operating costs. Then Mary only owned 1/3 of the property, but she's in the best financial situation. It don't matter. Excuse me. It don't matter. They're all afraid that the husband's going to screw them over financially. So they trying to get the deal done. You just knock money off. So, I mean, that shit does make sense. So, I mean, like I said, Megatron was building the case. Oh, man. Yeah. But that's what we have so far. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for so long. I appreciate it. I wasn't planning on doing 3.5, but it was a good conversation. I was having fun. I had fun. Hopefully you guys had fun. Before we go, let me give a shout out to everybody who left a message. We had Lacey, Sunny Bunny, Becky, Candace, D left a message as well. Awesome commentary. Tanya, Rose, Margarita, Sam, Megatron, of course, Mary, and we cannot ever forget Daisy, keeping it real, keeping it raw, as they say. Also, I want to give a shout out to folks who were so generous and gave us speak pipes and or left gifted One My Take on Reality memberships, which Lizzie B did. Gifted One My Take on Reality membership. Make sure you guys come through for the Saturday afternoon roundtable where we have the full panel discussion where we talk about all kinds of stuff. It's awesome. But thank you so much, Lizzie B, keeping a party going. I appreciate you. Let me give you a little something. All right. But to that end, we had Lizzie B. We had Julianne Kinkle. We had Jody Periscala, Annie Banani. We had Ty up in the house. We had Megatron coming through. Megatron been active. Let's get some hearts in the chat for Megatron, Michelle, and Betty. Show them some love because they had some things going on. Want to give them some love and some support. Put some hearts in the chat. Appreciate you guys for that. We had Raiders Mob. We had D up in the house. Of course, we had Lizzie B once again. And we had Michelle Page. Thank you guys so much. Let me give everybody a little something. I appreciate you. for all that you do. And as well, you know, gotta recognize the Mega Mod Squad, Lizzie B, Carmel Cuties, and Brittany Not Brittany, for show, for show. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out. I want to try to get some more collabs going on. We have some things happening. Plus, I'm about to drop a new channel. Hopefully, you guys check that out. It won't be Sister Wives stuff, but it'll be something a little bit different. And I'll give more information on that once I launch the channel. Hopefully, you guys will find that interesting. Maybe subscribe, and we can have different types of conversations. And I'm even taking some notes from some of the messages left by Jody Periscala as well as D, and some other folks who've been sending me emails to add or incorporate into that channel. So I'm very excited about that work. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. Make sure you have a fantastic day and rest of your evening. Have a most awesome tomorrow, because tomorrow is Friday, TGIF Friday. We're going to kick the weekend off. Then we're going to roll into part of that weekend adventure. We're going to have a round table. We're going to have the 10 folks joining the panel. We're going to have people in the chat. It's going to be an awesome live conversation. Then on Sunday, we having the after party show talking about this nonsense, because you know what? This week is the tell-all. And you know we're going to be talking, because it looks like it's going to be spicy. All right? That's my take. I'm James, and this has been my take on reality. And
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side. Piece of